Happy New Year! We're on a black screen, but not for long. Hold up, hold up. Okay, so I changed my setup just a little bit. Okay, everything, yeah. I was just checking, I don't know. Sometimes the mic, you can manually turn on, like, put the mute thing on, and then sometimes I think that I do, even when I don't. Oh, I know that bitch is loud. Okay, actually, it's probably loud for me. It's probably not loud for y'all, so that's good. If it's too loud, let me know. I'm sure somebody will. They'll be like, I can't hear you. And my camera's in a weird position, actually. I feel like I could adjust it. Is that better? Is that better? It'd be better if this goes down a little bit. I swear I do like pre-stream prep. Jesus, we're in the new year, aren't we? New year doesn't know how to stream. That's what that's about. I think I'm just nervous, like in a good way. I feel like there's a lot of not hype, but it's just like I don't know. I don't really play bigger games. This game is fucking huge. Okay, can we just talk about that for 2 seconds? So, not that I didn't do research about the game beforehand, because like I had bought it and I wanted to play it. Okay, but apparently, Hakuoki goes in 2 parts. We're playing the first part, which is Kyoto Wins, and then it goes to Edo Blossoms. Edo Blossoms? I think it's Edo. And basically, they're just two halves of the same whole. So the idea is like you're supposed to play the first half of a route on Kyoto Wins and then immediately move to Edo Blossoms and then keep going back and forth between the games like that, which is very weird. Which isn't like how most of these games kind of fucking go. But I feel like that's the way to do it, because if you only play Kyoto Wins, you basically only get half of the story, and so like there's no real romance or anything happening. And I think it slows down the pace for a lot of people who do play. Is what I've been told. And this game has 5 chapters, which I found interesting because the furthest I had gotten into the game from the last time that I did was I could show you entirely, but the chat's blocking it. But basically, oh wait, no, I'm a liar. So the last time I played, yeah, yeah, it's been a very long time. And the furthest I ever got into it was chapter 2, and that was a long time ago. I don't remember really anything of it other than being down bad for this character that I probably shouldn't be down bad for. But you know, it's like experiencing it all over again. You know, I even played it on the mobile for like 2 seconds, but that was even further back. Anyway, done enough talking. Hope everybody's excited. I'm excited, and like I said, nervous. I'm not gonna do a walkthrough. I thought about it, but then I was like, come on now. Like, how much more fun would it be if you just fuck up on stream, right? I usually, if I was playing this on my own, I would just use a walkthrough and not feel even slightly guilty about it. So, but I think for authenticity purposes and for, you know, maybe just a little fun, because I don't know if there's like, you die, probably. I don't fucking know. Do I know anything about this game? Apparently not. Should I have watched the music thing? Okay, so I did use my name the last time, and no, I don't want to proceed. I want to redo it. Can I... What was the base name that they gave you? Fuck, yuck. We're gonna be Chizuru, because that's the base. And usually I play as the base, but I guess a couple years ago, I was like, no, I want to be me. It's like, she ain't me. I ain't her, you know? Yep, I think we're good. Hopefully, yep. I don't know how you proceed. Yes, I would like to proceed. How do you name input? Okay. Yes, I'm blind. I'm sorry. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, businesses, places, events, and it's... none of this is real, in other words. Would you like to skip the prologue? No, I think that's kind of important. I feel like I remember some of this, dude. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah. But I didn't get far enough in. I remember that. Like, nothing huge happened when I played. I know that. The soundtrack's so banger already. So this is Kyoto. Oh, okay, cool. Oh. Does not run like Red Pie. Okay, hold up. Oh, God. Okay. This is a disaster. Wait, okay. How do we... Okay, there's gotta be a back, right? Or do I... rewind? How do I rewind? Yes. I mean, that's kind of cool that it just does that. But Jesus H. Okay. Note to self, don't press whatever I just pressed. Which I think is space, and I don't think I could press space. So enter? Okay, enter I could do. It was awfully impressive, no denying. Let me move that there. Even simple hellos between people passing in the street seemed warm and friendly. They nodded and smiled to one another as if family and not strangers about on errands. Still, there was something else as well. Something making the city feel strangely cold. Some evil lurking, almost as though there was a great invisible wall shutting out anyone wandering from this country. Are we in a video game? I'm not sure if I belong here. What, Tokyo? No, that's all in my head. Oh, okay. I walked quite some distance to reach Kyoto, and both my mind and body were exhausted. I'd walk 1,000... if I keep doing that, we're never going to progress. Even so, tiredness was no reason to meander and feel sorry for myself. I couldn't afford to... excuse me? No, she didn't say that. I hesitantly stopped a passerby. I'm sorry, I seem to be a bit lost. Could you... What am I supposed to do now? I was lost again, but in a different sort of way. I sighed and looked up at the darkening sky. The sun was beginning to set. People I'd spoken to showed me no unkindness, and they'd given me direction I needed, but... Was now really the best time to leave the city? Learning the person I'd hoped to visit had left town caused hope to seep from my crumbling resolve. Also, I have to remember that some of this stuff is translated, so if it sounds a little clunky, it's probably just a translation thing more so than anything. The only person besides Father I could rely on in the city who I could rely on... Yeah, like, instances like that. Dr. Matsumoto. Dr. Matsumoto was a doctor serving the shogunate. Oh, fuck. That's right, the glossary. Where's the glossary? I had never met him myself, but my father put a great deal of trust in the man. He had told me if I ran into any trouble in his absence, I was to contact Dr. Matsumoto. Unfortunately, Dr. Matsumoto was out on business and would not return for some time. Was I too hasty? Perhaps I should have waited. It is indeed rude to visit without warning, which is why I had sent a letter prior to my arrival, but it seems he had left before reading my letter. Perhaps, I thought, I should have waited for a reply before traveling to an unfamiliar city. Yeah, maybe. But I can no longer spend time waiting idly for news. Girl just likes to walk. Oh, I remember this bald ass. Hey, what's that? Chizuru, is something wrong, Father? He paused for a moment and looked at me. Yeah, Hakuoki this time. I've played it before. Full transparency, but I've never finished it on my own. The furthest I ever got was like halfway through the first game, and like I never went to Edo Blossoms ever. Hi, Butter. Glad you could stop by. It seems I must depart from the city of Kyoto. Have you played it all? Is it for business again? He left the house often during that period, sometimes for days at a time. How long will you be gone? I don't know if I should read over like when they're speaking in Japanese. I mean, I guess I should, but a part of me feels like it's rude. A month, perhaps, maybe 2? Oh, there was no hiding my disappointment. Nonetheless, I wasn't a child anymore. I couldn't beg him not to go, or some other foolishness. I'm still grading, but it would be nice to be on the stream. Yes, I'd be lonely, but I was much more worried for him. Please, Father, be careful. They say that the city of Kyoto is dangerous. He only smiled and nodded. You needn't fret. I will be sure to send you letters often, so that you will have no need to worry. Okay, you promise? Father kept his promise. A new letter arrived so often I scarcely had the time to respond before another would arrive. That's cute. He told me that he worried about me being home all by myself. Then the letter stopped. A whole month passed with no word. Father, they say Kyoto is full of Ronin. Ronin? Now I'm questioning pronouncing every Japanese word I've ever learned. Did you just finish for the common route? Oh, I'm doing the prologue right now. I'm just redoing it all because the last time that I played was 2022, so that was 3 years ago. Jesus H. Okay, it's fine. It is not a safe place. Usually a samurai is paid by their house, but Ronin who report to no house often rob people in order to make ends meet. They're nothing more than violent criminals who hide behind the image of the samurai. Damn. She was like, they ain't no real samurai. I know a real samurai when I see it. Such is the state of the city of Kyoto, the city of Ronin. Small wonder, then, that I worried for my father. My mind would concoct horrible possibilities, and I often found myself depressed and tense. Relatable. First, I suppose I need to find a place to stay. Lost in thought, I didn't notice nightfall descend, and these little light balls. If I was honest with myself, I hadn't the faintest idea of how long searching for him would take. I'd brought a negligible sum of money with me, enough to last me a month if used wisely. Finding father in the window of time was a must. Otherwise, I would have to depend on Dr. Matsumoto returning in this time, or else I'd be forced to return home without a word. Well, at any rate, I should try and be as frugal as possible, me every day of my life, because I have no choice. I lengthened my stride and set off on my path. Fortunately for me, men's clothing assisted with keeping a quicker pace than women's. That's true. Kyoto presented many dangers to a young girl hoping to explore the cities without direction. My disguise, such as it was, proved successful, and I'd safely made it all the way to Kyoto. Such success went to my head and led me to believe I could explore Kyoto as I pleased. But Kyoto is not a safe place. I should have remembered that. Instead, I had somehow convinced myself that the city's hidden dangers didn't apply to me. A kid. I was about to discover otherwise. Oh, shit, okay. Uh-oh, it's the silhouette eyes. I spun around. In the street in front of me were shadow eyes. I don't know why I said silhouette. Can I help you? I did my best to keep my voice calm, reaching nonchalantly for my kodachi. My father encouraged me to take sword lessons I had kept with him, and I did rather well. Well, that's good. It's good to know we can fight. I don't remember that. I was confident enough in defending myself. However, perhaps my overconfidence in myself is what served the situation at hand to me. Fuck. Okay, well, I had messed up and let my guard down. My fault. There was a chance I could take them on, but there were 3 of them. Yeah, that's fair. And 1 of me. That's also true. Pretty nice blade you got there, kid. Alright, don't flirt with me. Only then did I realize they were far more interested in my sword than they were in me. Okay, we'll just give them the sword. Looks like a bit much for a pup like this, right? Give it here, okay? We'll put it to good use. But this is my family sword. The sword wasn't just some blade I picked up. It was a family heirloom spanning generations. Not the kind of thing you just want to have in your person. There was no way I could give it to the Ronin. Though I had a feeling they wouldn't understand. In such a situation, the best decision was undoubtedly to retreat! Just starts running. Okay, cool. I turned and ran as fast as my legs could. Hey, get back here, you little bastard. Heyo! Barinrin, that's cute. If I pronounce it right. If not, it still sounds cute. I probably just fucked it up. Glad you could stop by. And most importantly, chat. Full disclosure, I've played the game before. I've never gotten far into it. I got to chapter 2 of Kyoto Winds and then just stopped 2 years ago. So in a way, it's a fresh slate. Gosh, they sure don't give up easily, do they? I felt that I had been running for quite a while, but I could still hear the Ronin cursing loudly. I ducked into an alley, flattening against the wall. After deciding they weren't too close, I crept farther into the alley. Someone left a couple sheets of wood leaning against one of the houses, a perfect hiding spot. What luck, I thought, kneeling down under them. This is my way to escape this mess. Huh? I was listening for sounds intently. A suspicious calm entered my mind. I'd expected to hear the Ronin yelling to each other, looking for me, but seconds turned into minutes. I heard nothing. I was about to sneak out and have a look when... Saburo! I saw it. What? My plan to investigate was immediately halted. Remaining silent and hidden was more important. Still. And Ichiro. I just like that we know their names. We know their names just based off of hearing them. I wonder what engine they use for this game. The snow effects remind me of the Renpai snow. The way that I played this like a Renpai game and then completely was like, oh shit, I cannot do that. And then I had to rewind. It was a whole thing. Henjiro. I'm glad that all these guys have names. Will I remember any of them? Probably not until they show face. It was then that true fear began to set in. There was something dangerous out there, something quite possibly lethal. My imagination conjured up no shortage of gruesome theories. Even so, I could feel an itch of curiosity. You know what they say about curiosity. I wanted to know what was out there. Carefully, I peeked around the corner's edge. The cold reflection of moonlight upon a blade glared at me, and my eyes followed it to the arm that held it, clad in a coat of light blue. Had this person saved me? But no slower than it appeared, my hope vanished. Oh, God. You're on your own, dog. I heard the Ronin stumbling to beg for his life. The person in the blue coat said nothing, just stepped forward, his sword raised. Oh, good lord. Me when the joke ain't funny. A high screeching laugh cut the man's scream. Blood, guys. The blade fell through the air like a butcher's knife rather than a sword. No skill, just death. Okay, that line eats. The scream turned wet, caught, and disappeared like air leaving half-empty bellows. My eyes went wide. I had just witnessed a murder. A murder! Any strength I'd received vanished quickly. My legs gave way, and I crumpled to the ground. My eyes widened like busted shells. What does that mean? Okay. He died with the first blow, but as I watched, the blades fell, carving line. Damn, we're just watching this whole thing. Okay. The soft slip of the blade through flesh, the silent creep of blood across ground. I felt nothing from them but madness. Their only desire was raw, animalistic violence. Whatever they were, it wasn't human. They were broken. Oh shit. Me in middle school? I could feel my throat clench tightly, and a warm, dark smell brushed against my face. I slowly recognized the coppery tang of blood. Yeah, there was a lot of it. An icy bolt of fear ran down my spine, crawling into my limbs and freezing me in place. I was terrified, I could tell. What was I gonna do? What could I do? Run, I guess. We've done it once. You have to run, Chizuru, and you can say that to yourself in silence. I forced my jaw open and drew a ragged breath. This was the only chance I'd get. I had to. My body still numb with fear was unresponsive. I lurched sideways against the stacked wood, and with a rough clatter, it collapsed. Uh-oh, the spooky. They all have white hair now. They all look the same. They just copied and pasted the same man. Did they just grow the same hairstyle and stuff too? The creatures turned, coats drenched in blood. Their eyes, maybe it's just a samurai hairstyle. Okay, I'm being unreasonable. What a jump scare. For their eyes locked with mine and bore into me. Hideous grins split into their inhuman faces, shaking with excitement at prey to slaughter. Ah! I had to run. I'm such a voice actress. I couldn't die yet, but my legs refused to move. Their hideous, cackling laughter echoed. I was going to die. No, we still got like 2 games. You're fine. My body was frozen with terror. I couldn't even scream. That was it. That was the end. Oh, that was a cool effect. Hey. What? I watched them raise their bloody swords, the moon glinting off the metal. Then there was a flash of light and the soft splash of blood. Lots of it. I could feel it, warm and sticky. You didn't have to say that. Bile began. You don't need to say that either. But before disgust took hold, I heard a voice. Really? The words suggested disappointment, but the voice sounded happy. And here I was planning to take it. I'm sorry, I'm voicing over his nice voice acting. Can't you have picked another day to work fast, Saito? As he spoke, the strange man smiled, almost as if he were enjoying himself. I only did my job. Unlike you, I take no pleasure in battle. Well, that's not a very nice thing to say. What do you mean? He laughed. You don't even bother to deny it. Yeah, that's true. The man called Saito's side with the air of a long-suffering companion and looked at me. He just wants to be free. Maybe, but if you just sat back and let me kill the kid, you could have saved us some trouble. His tone was light, but it confirmed my fears. I may have escaped the schemes of the Ronin, but I was ensnared by something much darker. Yeah, a Bishonen. Perhaps that decision is not ours to make. Then, who was in charge of these two? Their conversation led me to believe they were part of an organization. As I thought about it, I recalled hearing about men with blue coats. Ah. My thoughts were interrupted by a dark shape sliding into view. It's the cover image guy! I think it's Hijikata, I think it's the name. I remember some names. Oh. I swallowed hard. The moonlight shone off his smooth, dark hair for reasons I couldn't fathom. In that moment, the light on his hair made me think of the wistfulness of flower petals. Okay, she is me, actually. It was almost as if the cherry blossoms were blooming out of season. Luck is not your friend tonight. I mean, I met you, so it's looking actually pretty okay. His voice was cold and quiet, like a blade of ice. Blue-white moonlight lit his slender face and shone from the blade pointed at my chest. But it wasn't the sword making my breath catch. It was his eyes. They were fierce and hard and purple. But somewhere, behind them, I could catch a glimpse of something else. There could be no doubt that he was prepared to kill me, and yet he looked troubled. Not kindness, but perhaps mercy. Run and I will kill you. Do you understand? So you want me just... Okay, I'll stay. me like dying because I can't understand the simple directions I'm being given. I nodded. There was no doubt he meant every word he said. He stared at me for a moment, then grimaced and put his sword away, sighing. I love purple eyes. Oh, he's pretty. Indeed. He was the guy that I tried to romance first. Obviously didn't get very far into it, but you know. Because he was the cover guy, so it was like, well, if I'm going to get a good sense of the story, even though I learned, and I try not to do too much research in case there were spoilers, but I learned that, like, he has, like, the most endings in Edo Blossoms, and I was like, Jesus H, should I start with him first? Who knows? Well, what? I was too surprised to stop myself from speaking, and it quickly became apparent that I wasn't the only one. What? Wait, Hijikata, are you sure about this? This kid saw everything. That can't be good. Oh, we're a witness. Oh, shit. Oh, how do you determine which one first save for last? Usually, in the past, what I would do is I would pick the person I'm not that excited about, like the person I dislike the most, and then I would do their route first, and then it kind of just gets, like, I would go from, like, what I think is going to be worst to what I think is going to be best, and in the hopes that the person who I thought I wouldn't like was still enjoyable in some way, and then, like, you know, basically I don't want to save all, like, the dudes I'm not excited for last, because then there's a good chance I probably won't finish them all. But I don't know if it should be different on stream. A part of me is like, well, maybe I should have people vote on it, or maybe I should just go with my current gut when I get to that point. I don't know. We'll see. I'm keeping my options open. As he spoke to the man he called Hijikata, his eyes narrowed. Oh, shit. I pressed the space. That's gonna happen a lot, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, that hides the text bar. How do I... Okay, so when I rewind, then I'm able to just go back. Okay. And then you... Okay. This isn't exactly the most intuitive UI design, or maybe I'm just really used to... Oh. That replays it. So, if I do that one more time, I swear. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. I rewinded it earlier. How do I rewind it now? Oh, I have to click on the actual button. Okay. Do not press space, in other words. I'm pressing yes. Okay. Finicky. No space. Enter. As he spoke to the man he called Hijikata, his eyes narrowed. The man called Hijikata frowned back at him. Okay, I know why I liked him. Unfortunately, I've noticed this trend with me. I like the tsundere asshole dudes. I love them. I love them. I love how sassy they are. I love taming them. I love watching them go from being just like a little bitch to my bitch. You know what I mean? Well, in my case, I'm just gonna watch whatever order. If you keep that up, you know what we're gonna have to do. Kill me. It was clear enough that what I'd seen was something they wanted to keep hidden. The more they said, the more I got it, and it was clear none of us wanted such a thing. I really think it's gonna come back to bite us in the ass if we let this kid go. Probably. The way he looked at me made me feel as if he'd read my mind. So we should just kill people now? No, I'll see what to do with this kid when we get back. Guys, I'm probably not that much younger than y'all. I agree with the commander. If we remain here, we are likely to be seen. Again. Then he looked down at the creature he'd killed as though he'd forgotten the whole ordeal. If they have this sort of reaction to blood, then they don't seem like they'll be very practical. Love that they're using they, them pronouns. Thank you. Damn. He peered down at the corpse, his face in emotion. Oh, or was he talking about the multiple guys on the ground? My bad. Emotionless masked. When he looked back up at his companions, however, his eyes narrowed. In my case, if I get favorites based on looks vibes, then I do my second fave first, so I have a good experience for the first route, and then save the favorite for last, so the game ends with a bang. And usually my rankings don't change at all at the end of each game. That is a good strat. I like that too. There's nothing wrong with that either. Also, I just realized that the text box is blocking out Saito. I'm so sorry, Saito. You're just... I have to have my chat on screen, though. You know what? Maybe I could... Is this oh, I'm so sorry. I missed what they said. Drop the Hichikata and Commander Act. Keep a low profile. What? Come on, you can't be serious. Armed Our Blues a bit of a getaway? Yeah, I mean, he's not right. I mean, he's not wrong. Let me readjust the window real fast. I think it needs to be a bit smaller. Okay, and then... Sorry, Saito, just for now, okay? We'll see you soon, babe, when you're, like, more important in the middle of the screen. He was right. I'll probably have to readjust this for next stream, but I'm just used to having my chat window there, so it's going to be weird if I don't have it. Even I had heard stories about a gang of cruel men in blue coats who cut people down in the streets, but I didn't know how to confront the dilemma of pretending I didn't see any of these horrors. Also, no tsunderes. Me and tsunderes don't mix. I'm quite open with affections, so not gonna lie, the tsundere vibes feel like rejection to a degree, but the appeal of the chase is understandable. Yeah, I think for me, it's just like, I like that character type. I find it funny. Like, I find it funny that they're just like, and maybe, like, I'm pretty sensitive to insecure characters, like, not necessarily tsunderes, but even people adjacent that are like, there's something kind of sweet about them trying to hide their emotions. Like, they're just so sensitive and so raw deep underneath that if they even reveal a little bit of it, then they're like, oh no, they've got me. Like, they're just so soft and tender that they have to put this hard shell. They're like a little crab. I don't know. There's something really, but I get why people don't really like the trope. You know, different strokes, different folks, that whole ordeal. I didn't know how to confront the dilemma of pretending I didn't see any of these horrors. My mind swirled through a pool of worries and thoughts, almost as if I was being drawn into their world. Lol, Chris. Yeah. Okay, you called me out. You called me out. I get it. Yeah. I mean, he's probably not the only tsundere-ish character that I've written. I think the only other close one in Rectifier would be Ren, maybe, but Ren's not really even like that either. I don't think I have any, like, tsundere characters in Rectifier, unless I'm misremembering. A world where there is nothing strange in carrying on a normal conversation in the dead of night with corpses for company. What shall we do with the bodies then? Eat them! There doesn't seem to be any physical signs. Hijikata thought for a moment before he spoke. Just take their blues. Yamazaki can deal with the rest. As you wish. Another man cut down in the street, huh? Doing a great job, aren't we? He gave a derisive bark of laughter. So long as we keep our mouths shut, I don't think anyone will know we are here. He looked directly at me, and I got this distinct feeling his words weren't for his companions. Also, fun fact, I saw in the settings that you can toggle romance on and off, which I find very interesting. Like, okay, love that you could just play it as a regular story, I guess, you know? Granted, I wouldn't play it that way and didn't play it that way, but, you know, for those who like it. Wait, toggle romance? Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that was just like, maybe, I think at least in the first game, there isn't a lot of romance anyway. It's kind of setting up for the second part of it, which is, from what I understand, a lot more romantic. But it's kind of a slow burn for everybody, which I'm not against. If the story's fun, I think it'll really pay off. Plus I got DLCs and all this other shit, so we're gonna be here a long time. So strap in. It was common for people to be murdered in Kyoto. It was a dangerous city after all. Yes, we are aware. You have said this. I knew that, of course. So did I. But to see it happen, that was something else entirely. If death was such an easy thing in Kyoto, I thought, then the city itself must surely be mad. It probably is. Hey. Yes, we did save you, didn't we? I mean, technically. Huh? I didn't realize right away he was speaking to me. When I did, my eyes went wide. What do you mean you saved me? Well, he did have a point. Despite their threats, they saved my life. Yeah, but it wasn't intentional. I stood up as steadily as I could manage, brushed some dirt off my clothes and bowed. Thank you very much. I apologize for not thanking you earlier. There was so much going on, I was a little confused. I glanced up at them attentively. The man called Hajime. Is it just Hajime? Okay. Also looked confused. His eyes were wide and he had an expression that was again being covered up by chat. Damn, we just hate Hajime Saito here. Wait, is he Saito? I could be wrong. Sorry if I called him the wrong name this whole time. I couldn't place. Hijikata looked as though he'd taken a bite of something sour. I love this trope so much. I just like them. I don't know why. I don't know. Oh, do the routes continue in other parts or other routes locked in other installments of the game? So this is Kyoto Winds, so it's Hakuoki and then it's Kyoto Winds, and then there's Hakuoki Edo Blossoms. And Kyoto Winds is one half of the entire Hakuoki story. So basically, when you finish the route on Kyoto Winds, you're supposed to go straight to Edo Blossoms and then finish out that route, and then come all the way back to Kyoto Winds and keep doing that over and over and over again. Now, a lot of people got confused because basically they're two halves of the same whole. So some people would just play all the routes in Hakuoki Kyoto Winds, and then they move to Edo Blossoms and I guess play all the routes that way. But one, it kind of takes you, yeah, so you go back and forth. From what I've read on Reddit and what I've said, or like what I've heard from other people who've played the game, that's how you're supposed to do it. Because originally it was all like one big game put together. But I guess they decided to split it up because it was that big. So they could like sell it. But wait, are there two versions of the same route? No, it's just like two halves. So it's like you're playing the first 50% in Kyoto Winds and then you're playing the other 50% in Edo Blossoms. That's kind of how it goes. But a lot of people don't know that from jump, and I don't think the game kind of advertises that at all. So it's, I can understand why a lot of people just play all through Kyoto Winds and they're like, but there's no romance, like nothing progressed. And it's like, yeah, that's because Edo Blossoms was the second half. So like everything you built up over here, you know, it doesn't have a payoff until you get to the next game, that kind of thing. That's why I have to kind of keep going back and forth. At least that's from what I understand. So I'll do some extra research, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I sighed deeply before continuing. I know it seems weird to say that, but he told me I should say thanks, so I looked up. Saito and Hijikata both stared pointedly at anything but me, and the third man was shaking with laughter. Ha, oh man, well my apologies. I certainly did tell you too, didn't I? I mean, you did. He broke out in laughter again, so much so that he was forced to wipe a few tears from his eyes as he straightened. It was not that funny, though. I don't even know what you said. Well, you're welcome. I'm Soji Okita. Nice to see a kid who knows how to be polite. Alright, he's just gonna bully me. Thank you for helping me again. Not quite sure what else to do. I bowed again. The one you should be thanking for saving you is Hajime Saito over here, and this bossy guy here is Hijikata. Yeah, we know. What the hell do you think you're doing, Okita? Sir, I read your concerns, but we must move. Whatever mirth was inspired was gone. The man called Saito now spoke with quite urgency. So there are the same routes in both games, just the other part of the route in Edo Blossoms. Yeah, but wait, if you'd have to go back to Kyoto Winds, the epilogue or something is in Kyoto Winds. They're quite pretty, by the way. I actually don't know. I feel like from what I understand is that when you get to the ending of the route in Kyoto Winds, it's like a cliffhanger sort of deal, and then it just picks up from Edo Blossoms, and then your true ending basically happens in Edo Blossoms. So like that's the end of the game. I'm pretty sure that's how that works, but I guess we'll figure that out together, won't we? They're quite pretty, by the way. Yeah, I mean, Okita's alright. Okita's got a fucking round, fat head. The man named Okita grabbed hold of my wrist, smiled, and led us down the street. Don't touch me, dog. His grip was a touch too tight to be friendly, his fingers like iron cables around my arm. There was no question about it, my situation. I quickly picked up on the notion that if I were to run, I would be killed instantly. My life was in the hands of these strange men. I set my jaw and stood up as straight as I could. My eyes crept from the blood-stained coat and met Saito's gaze. We could see your beautiful face, darling. I'm so sorry. It's been covered up. It would be best if you prepare for the worst. I doubt this will end well for you. Thank you for being so honest. We love a Kudere character, too. We like the chill, stoic guy, alright? His words were like a dagger in my stomach. What was going to happen to me? Was I gonna die? I feel like if they were gonna kill you, they would have just already done it. Like, what's the point of bringing you back and then killing you? They just killed 3 men in the street. As he was walking through the bleak Kyoto night, I felt horror crawl its way up my spine once again. The cause of my horror wasn't the gruesome men that awaited me, but something else entirely. Having to share a space with Okita. I spoke with these men and watched them speak, standing next to a warm corpse soaked in blood. That I had done such a thing terrified me in an altogether different way. Perhaps this is what it was like to go mad. Oh shit. Alright, we're on our Soul Eater nonsense. Oh, okay, we get to see the music. I'm glad that we didn't replay it then. Yay! Okay. I wish more games had this. Oh. Good morning! Happy New Year! We just got through the prologue of Hakuoki. Honestly, I remembered most of that. I guess the prologue was kind of simple, so I didn't remember the specific dialogue, but... Bay. I'm gonna do smash or pass when they go through. From what I remember. Okay. Smash on the left, pass on the right. And this isn't an otome? Yeah, it is. One of the originals, too. Okay. Smash and smash. I remember the little kid, or not a little kid, but like the younger guy was really cute. Okay, smash on the right. I love that motherfucker. The other ones are there, too. Are any of them girls? No. And I don't know about that one. Reluctant smash. Ooh, pass on most of these guys. I mean, there's some side characters that I've lost interest. That's so real. Are these all the love interests? Yeah, there's like 10. There's so many. I'm telling you, we're gonna be here all of 2025. But you came here during the beginning of the game, basically, so the only thing that happened was 3 guys were chasing us, and then these other guys killed the guys for us, and then brought us back to their place. There are so many people. I'm overwhelmed. I think they, like, add more in the second game. There's so many. How many men can we collect them like fucking Pokemon? Okay. Let's make a game with 10 love interests, Joy. I'm already, like, almost there. I have 7. Dude, if we did that, we wouldn't be done until, like, 2010. Wait. Hold up. I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry. What is today's year? 2035 is what I meant to say. Why did I... Please ignore me. I need a drink on that note. Also, I tried to press spacebar to, like, progress, and it skips. Spacebar skips. So I have to remember to use enter. Was it morning? What happened to me? Spacebar skips. Yeah, I this is not Rimpai. No, it's not. I didn't even register that in my head. I attempted to recollect myself. Ah, yes. Right. All at once, the events of the previous night rushed back to me. This isn't my room. My limbs were snugly bound in tight knots, so I could do was wriggle around in bed, twisting the blankets around me. I yearned for the comfort of my own futon, but the futility of such thoughts only forced me to confront the reality of my situation. If only I could wake from this strange nightmare. But I could not. Those men from the night before must have taken me with them to the headquarters of the Shinsengumi. What will happen to me now? I inhaled deeply, lying down to await my fate. What up? It was at that moment that the door slid open. A kind-looking man seeped through. Ah, I see you finally woken. This is no way to treat a guest of ours. Please wait, I'll loosen the ropes, alright? His smile quirked as he removed my ropes. My wrists, however, were left bound. And you are? Of course, how improper of me. My name is Genzaburo Inoue, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Inoue. Now, if you would follow me, they've been discussing what to do with you since morning. For now, they decided to hear about what exactly it was you saw last night. Okay. Yeah, we were a witness to a murder. I nodded curtly and struggled to stand, but my body was sore from being bound up all night. Damn, girl. A murder, yes. Inoue treated me with something like courtesy, but it was clear that I was in a lesser position. He must have been able to guess my thoughts, however, because he smiled at me and winked. I know they seem scary, but they are all truly gentlemen. You don't need to worry. Oh. Are they allowed to kidnap girls? I mean, I think it's not because we're a girl. To be fair, I think we're dressed like a boy, so I don't even think they know that we're a girl. But it's more just like, we witnessed the murder, so they're like, they have to decide whether they're gonna kill us or let us go, or I don't know, something. It was hard to imagine that the people in charge of such an organization were gentlemen. The youngest man, Toto, is about your age, or perhaps slightly older? And there are a pair of guys named Nagakura and Harada who are very lively, so you'll be fine. Okay, good enough, I guess. You know, no complaints now. Despite Inoue's reassurances, it was difficult for me to trust what I was hearing as accurate. Excuse me. Inoue led me to a room and opened the door. I stepped inside and found myself surrounded by the leaders of the Shinsengumi. About your age or slightly older is the line, signaling a love interest. Their eyes dug into me like sharp knives. I stared before me and then gulped nervously. Good morning. I take it you slept well? Yeah, sure. Well, it wasn't particularly comfortable. Yeah, I was fucking bound up. You tell him, girl. Is that so? Because when I went to have a look at you earlier, you didn't budge, no matter what I poked. What the fuck do you mean, dog? You were knocked out cold and you look snug and cozy in your sleep. Okay, Edward. Relax. What? Yeah. He's only teasing you. Soji didn't go anywhere near your room. Okay, thank you, Saito. Thank you so much for clarifying that. What the fuck, Okita? Big ass, fucking round ass head. Quite silent, I stared at Okita. With his grin still spread along his face, he glanced over to Saito. I just wanted to see you squirm a little. Not very nice of you, Hajime, calling me out like that. I don't think Saito did anything wrong. You, on the other hand. Okay, MC, cut his ass. Do not let him go. Shut it, you sound like a bunch of kids. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm sorry. Hijikata's voice brooked no further insubordination. Okita struggled and fell silent, but the smile lingered through his bright eyes. So, Hijikata, this is your witness? Oh god, 3 more of these dudes. Is this a fantasy world? Okay. So, I'm pretty sure it's just, like, Japanese historical fiction, but then it has, like, a paranormal, like, sprinkling on it. Because we saw, like, some sort of monster creatures earlier that had, like, red eyes and white hair or whatever. Oh, another purple-eyed lover. There's so many. The man who spoke was, well, he looked more like a boy than a man. Damn, alright. Well, maybe this is the youthful Shinsengumi captain that Inoue was describing to me. Why does no one have just normal brown eyes? It's anime. If you could have crazy fucking turquoise eyes, why not? Their faces were still blessed with youth. In fact, one might even confuse them at first glance for a gang of bohemian thugs. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but okay. I'm gonna chalk that down to a translation error. He's a real stick, huh? Just a kid. Oh yeah, see, so they think I'm a dude. You're calling him a kid, Heisuke? That's rich. Right. You are. To anybody else, I'll bet you two look like a sad pair of scrawny little brats. I don't know who's talking. I'm the only one who gets to call him out on being scrawny punks because I'm a mature adult and all, as all mature adults say. Anything that comes out of your mouth is basically nonsense. Shinpachi? Damn. Alright, whoever said that is my new favorite. 2 nearby men replied to Toto with very mocking, but lighthearted tones. I somewhat recalled Inoue's description of 2 energetic members. His mention of them was brief, but seeing them in person was an eye-opening experience. He said the short-haired one was Nagakura, and the other with longer hair was Harada. Noted. Leave off, you grumpy old bastards. Yeah, you tell him, Toto. The hell I will, boy. You think you can get away with talking to us like that? Besides, I'm hardly mature enough to be called old. Shinpachi maybe, but not me. You son of a bitch, I thought we were friends. Not anymore. He said, come on, Shin. When an adult gets so worked up over something like that, their back and forth rapport seemed developed into a rhythm from years of friendship, which predated my arrival and made me foreign here. I sensed something apart from curiosity towards me, though like a feeling of animosity. They're just jealous. Despite their cheerful levity, they had not forgotten my presence among them. Suddenly, I wanted very much to go home. I wanted to leave this place and never return. My chest tightened and I stared down, hoping to wake up in bed with all of this only a memory. It's my husband, everybody. I love this motherfucker so much. And Kini said I probably shouldn't, but if anything, that draws me closer. I apologize for all of this frightening behavior. Please don't let the men unsettle you. Trust me, I don't. Oh. Oh! His voice is calm and warm, and I felt myself relax, even if only a little bit. Are you serious? You're the scariest out of all of us, Sonnet. That should be a red flag, but my dumbass is like a bull where I'm just like, that's the direction I'm going. As he finished speaking, the rest of the men nodded solemnly in agreement. I wondered, who could possibly command such fear and respect from these men? I mean, it is also a Megane or like a glasses-wearing character, so I think Butter's on board too. I wonder who could possibly command such fear and respect from these men. Oh, how crude. I can understand their feelings, but for our demon of a commander to feel such as well, it is up to me to hold the integrity of the Shinsengumi to our highest standard. It is easy to be confused. However, when our standards, or rather our taboos, are at the mercy of our own Hijikata, it is true, but now it isn't time to be talking about this. Okay, these two are just flirting in front of me, okay. And the man called Sanin and Hijikata stared at one another with a smirk. Yeah, what the hell? Okay, you know, but I'm on board. And if this game was more progressive, I'd just be a sandwich, you know what I mean? Who are you? You're lucky to have a friend like Sanin, Toshi. Hijikata and Sanin sounded distant when they spoke to one another, not exactly friendly. Still, the man who spoke had certainly sounded as though he thought they were friends. Oh, my apologies. I haven't introduced myself. I am Isami Kondo. Okay, sorry. Chief of the Shinsengumi. When you say chief, do you mean to say you are the most important man in the Shinsengumi? Well, I wouldn't call myself the most important. It is more accurate to say I represent everyone. Toshi over there is the commander, and Sanin is our colonel. Kondo, why are you telling him all of this? Why do you think it's a bad idea? I am not knowing. Sir, you're in charge. What the fuck? Well, unless you think this is a kid should learn our secrets, maybe you should keep your mouth shut. Damn, okay. Exactly, why bother anyway? We owe him nothing. Perhaps you all raise good points, but isn't it rude to ignore your guest? He's just a good host. Harada glanced over at Kondo and let out a bark of laughter. True, we've already brought him here. It's not like telling him will hurt us. Kondo had looked rather disappointed when Hijikata spoke, but he's perked up at Harada's words. Despite knowing him for 5 minutes, it's easy to see that his words resonated well with his men. He had sort of a charisma, oh, he got that riz, that simply drew you in. A man who was impossible to hate. We'll see. Well, let's get back to business at hand. Can you give me a full report of last night? Last night we were on patrol and we encountered some wandering Ronin. They drew steel, so we fought. I mean, fair enough. Some of our men subdued the Ronin, but in doing so exposed their failure. As he finished, Saito turned to look at me. I didn't see anything. You were a fucking liar too! Huh? Even with my insistence, Hijikata continued to stare at me with a harsh glance. Saito remained expressionless, and the smile of Okita's face didn't change. Huh, you sure you didn't see anything? Yeah. Yes, I didn't see anything. Really? Well, if that's true, then I don't see what the problem is. He's just like, he just believes us? Okay. Easy. Okay. Speech 100. Hold on a minute. I thought Soji said you helped out some of our men or something. No, that's not true. I glanced over at Akita, but his smile remained. Whatever he was thinking was a mystery to me. I was running away from the Ronin. Then some people with Shinsengumi uniforms appeared. Really, they sort of rescued me. Then that means you saw them slicing up these Ronin, right? I couldn't exactly deny that. However, I knew that choosing to stay silent would implicate me deeper than lying would. Would it? So in other words, you actually saw everything. The whole ugly mess. Yeah, I did. You've got an honest heart. That's not really a bad thing, but I wasn't sure what to make of Harada's words. My presence seemed bad for the Shinsengumi. Would their next words be ones condemning me to death, or for me, or being at the wrong place and time? My voice shook, but I knew I had to try. I won't tell anyone, I promise. Bro, you just lied. Why would they believe anything you just said? It seems unlikely this attack was mere chance. Yes, it seems unlikely too that you're an enemy. Despite your good intentions, you could be taken for interrogating. Could you handle torture? Definitely not. I would fold like piece of paper. Whimper? Ma'am? Huh? What do you mean whimper? His voice was still warm, but his words were cold, and I began to feel my chance at life slip away. Staying quiet is easy, but if you were captured, you would have no loyalty to us or our secrets. Yeah, we have no way of verifying your word. It wouldn't be very smart to just let you go. I mean, let's just kill the kid. You want to keep someone quiet, that's the only way, that's the only sure way. But, don't be so cold, Soji. What do we gain by murdering a civilian? Not to be on the side of these guys, but you gain not having your really important secrets, like, divulged. Oh, don't give me that look. I was just kidding. I'm just not gonna listen to anything you say. Perhaps it should have sounded like it. Oh. Ate him up! Okay. Maybe that's why I like this game originally. All the guys are just sassy. Hee hee! Except Okita. He's not sassy, he's just annoying. After being rebuked by Saito, Okita gave a playful smile. But surely there must be something we can do. After all, we're talking about a child. I've no wish to kill him either, but ignoring the unlikeliness of his trustworthiness is foolish. Well, I would like to hear the commander's opinion. What do you say, Commander Hijikata? The men looked at Hijikata, listening intently. He sighed and glanced around the room. Last night, we killed members who broke our code. This kid should not have been involved at all. I imagine that puts an end to the matter for you. Well, he probably saw something, but I doubt he really understands what it was. Even so, this is serious. We have bigger things to consider. We have to keep this under wraps. If rumor breaks that the soldiers of the Shinsengumi are thirsty for blood, it would be problematic. Shinpachi's words made sense to everyone. Hijikata's face looked grim. Hey, watch your mouth. It is our responsibility to regulate all warriors who violate our code. They will be dealt with. Well, it doesn't change the fact that the kid saw something. I think Soji has a point, but still, I'll do whatever Hijikata and Kondo tell me to. What the fuck, Harada? He said, I'm just gonna submit. Like, whatever they say, I'm down. Actually, I have no thoughts. I just do what they say. I think we ought to let him go. He doesn't know everything, you know? What do you mean, everything? Why are you asking? Hello? This is not me. I would never. Shut the fuck up! I couldn't help but wonder out loud, and the mood of the room shifted to an icy silence. Damn. Shut it, Heisuke. Oops, my bad. He really said oops. Uh-oh, this is gonna make it even harder for us to simply let you go. Not whimper. Can we stop? Can we please? Please? If I could remove one thing from this game right now, it would be Okita. But then it would be the whimpering. Because what the fuck is this? In the twice at once is crazy. I'm gonna pretend some of these are hot butches. There you go. That A man should always be ready to face death. You should make your peace with yours. A man? Oh, that's right. They still believed me to be a boy. With everything else that had happened, it completely forgot how I was dressed. Damn, we're really on our Mulan shit. That's crazy. Very true. A brave death is always an option. When I was young, I committed honorable suicide. The hell you did? Brother, you're still alive. Or is that what all those bandages are for? It didn't really stick though, did it? It was like... I mean, like, when I was a kid, I committed suicide. Like, brother, God, I wish I had that androgynous swag to seem like a boy just by the way I dress. That would be really cool, actually. I'm glad that the MC is like that. And also, Okita was flirting with us even before they knew that we were a girl. So, in a sense, I want to be like, ooh, by King Okita, but at the same time, it's Okita, so I don't care, you know? Their jokes were barbaric, but they both broke into a raucous laughter? Raucous? I don't know what that word is. Commander, since we can't seem to reach a consensus, can I send the child back to his room? So I just said, can we stop dealing with this fucking kid? If you hear something you shouldn't while you're here, then we'll have no choice but to kill you. I mean, that's fair. Raucous. It's like uproarious. Okay. He was right. If I remained with them, then I could easily hear something I wasn't supposed to. I didn't think he'd mention it for my sake, but rather as a possible concern for their group. I was still relieved when he'd brought it up. Indeed, let's do that. Plus, there's something I want to look into. I agree. There are too many careless men here. Come on, Sanin, what are you looking at me for? That ought to be pretty obvious. We're all guilty for being careless, especially you, Heisuke. Hey, back off! It was just a mistake, alright? I could hear Toto's voice rise as everyone turned to look at him. He looked at them for a bit, then turned to me and mumbled in a voice I could barely hear. I'm sorry. It's okay, Toto. It's okay. The lone one in the green is a child, yes. No, I'm pretty sure they're like at least like 18 or 19, but they just call them kids because they're the youngest of the group. I'm almost certain that's the case. I'm sure they'll confirm it later. I was still apprehensive about what they might do to me, so I couldn't quite respond to him well. That better not be a love interest. He actually is a love interest. But they're the same age as us, I'm pretty sure. But he seemed to understand and I curtly managed to nod. It was the most I could manage. No! Alright, Saito, take care of the kid. Noted, shall we go? Alright. I mean, I could probably look it up, but I'm almost certain, from what I remember from the game the last time I played, get us out of here! wait, let me go to the Google machine. Google Sensei, can you tell me? Hakuoki love interest. Oh god, I cannot spell. Age. She should be at the club. That's so funny. The official age chart. Is this real? Oh yeah, most of these motherfuckers are old. Yeah, Toto, he's 19, so I guess the main character is also 19. And the guys range from 19 to... What's the oldest I see here? 34? 35? 45. Okay, apparently that's the highest it fucking goes. Still a little problematic, not gonna lie, but you know what? Fuck it, bro, we here. She should be at the club. We should be at the club. 45 and an 18-year-old jail. 19. But yes, like still jail. After returning to my room, I'd spent some time reflecting upon my state and my still bound hands. Sigh. Oh shit! Not the skip. Sigh. Okay. And this I can't stand. This having to, in order to back up, you have to like manually go and click it. The rumors spoke of the Shinsengumi as vicious men, but they seem more intimate human to me. Well, yeah, they're not fucking animals. Of course there's gonna be like dudes there. Doesn't mean they're good. Still, their presence, or their being, lingered through me, as if to say, we are not killers, but to protect our code, we must bring death. Okay, so they're the police. I'm just joking. ACAB. Remaining here is only bringing me closer to the possibility of them killing me. I mean, if we just shut the fuck up, you know, I don't know if I can convince them to spare me. Yeah, we don't got that riz. Just as I have no loyalty to them, they have no loyalty to me. Only the Shinsengumi. But then, they mentioned a man must always be ready to face death, so are they still mistaking me for a man? Yeah. Could I possibly risk exposing my true identity in exchange for mercy on my life? But this could just as easily backfire for me, and it could exact an even worse fate. I was truly at a loss for what to do. Oh, fuck. I forgot we have to make choices. Ah! I hate making choices, especially without a walkthrough. Should we find a way to escape, or attempt to explain my situation? We're escaping. This character is not good at talking at all, so I'm not gonna rely on their fucking riz. We ain't got no goddamn... You know... There was nothing for it. I had to try and escape, meaning I needed to get moving immediately. Staying in this room did nothing to help me. Fortunately, they hadn't bothered to tie me up completely again, only my hands were bound. That would slow me down certainly, but so long as I could move my legs, I stood a chance. Alright, now the exit is... I cast my memory back to when they brought me into the building the night before. Right. I'm sure I could work it out. They're more confident than I would be. I stood up. Holding my breath, I edged towards the door. I knew it was rude, but I had no choice but to try and open the sliding door with my toe. Damn. But I was almost there when suddenly it flew open all on its own, revealing... No. What? Ah! Not the Home Alone scream. I stumbled straight into Kondo. Oh my, well, that was rather bold. You were looking to escape, I assume. No, I had to pee. Attempting to escape was unwise. It will only make your situation more difficult. His voice is calm and not unfriendly, but his eyes were frigid and calculating. Too late, I realized why they hadn't bothered to tie me up again. They'd been watching me. Oh, okay, well. I always feel like... I told you once and I won't do it again. Run and I'll gut you. Okay, I'm sorry. Chat told me to do. Sorry, but now we've got to kill you. We can't trust a kid who can't keep a promise. I'm not even listening to you, dog. Okita smiled. That's all he does. He didn't look very sorry. Yeah, he isn't. Do we double down? Wait, I'm not. Wait, I gotta save. How do you save? How does one save? No, that's not what I want to do. Run for it. I want to save first. Okay, that does not do it. How does one save? Can I not save? You know what? Fuck it. We could just skip real easy. Run for it! I had no choice but to run! Did you really think you could escape? I mean... You saw me. Ah! He snatched me from the floor in one smooth motion, like a cat with a cat-like grace. Let me go. You think I'm stupid? You'll just try to run. No. But I don't want to die. And there's something I have to do. And what's that, huh? What compels a girl to run around Kyoto pretending she's a boy? For fun? Have you ever heard of fun? Huh? Did he just say girl? I ain't a girl. When I stopped flapping my feet and arms, Hichikaze put me back down on the floor. Sir? Maybe she's a drag king. Leave her alone. Sir? I looked up at Hijikata and he did not seem happy at all. Did you just say girl? Oh no, he's doing the Li Shang. He's upset. He's like, damn, little boy was kind of cute. Little. I shouldn't say little. Again, 19 is young. It is, but it is an adult, technically. Kind of. I was scared. There was no denying it. Sanin looked at us and nodded. I see, then you really were a girl. Come on, you thought putting on a pair of pants is gonna fool us? Even an idiot could tell. I mean, I'm sure us whimpering really didn't help. I'm sure we don't sound like a dude. Wait, so all you knew from the start was my disguise that unnatural? I wasn't quite sure what to think. Oh, Isami Kondo, you fool! This is the shame of a lifetime. How could I have not realized? Kondo was like completely sold. And you were so nice too. Well, perhaps they hadn't all known. I confess his reaction put me more at ease. You almost got killed for it, whatever it is. Maybe it's time you spilled your guts, kid. What is this graphic? That's funny as fuck with only that guy. He's just a dumbass. And he's the leader. I looked back at him and nodded. This is activating my flight or fight response. This is every Otome game. It's literally like you just get like kind of forced to be in the proximity of multiple men at once. It really is. There I was, surrounded once again by the leaders of the Shinsengumi. I noticed you were rather slim and your features were far too soft to be a man's, but to think you were a lady this whole time. Kondo was nodding his head repeatedly as if he were agreeing with a very intelligent suggestion. Like, I'm calling the police. For him to notice the softness of my features, it flattered me a bit. Girl, raise your standards. Kondo said, damn, I thought you were a twink. Once you know she's a girl, she really doesn't look like a boy at all, does she? So we bound her and left her for the whole night. Oh dear. Well, she claims to be a girl, but it's not like we have any actual proof, right? Nagakura, do not do this to me right now. I will literally gut you. I have a sword. Proof? Proof really not obvious enough for you, huh? Alright, well you feel- oh god. No. Not the transvestigating. Yeah, literally, I was just about to say. No, you absolutely will not. Okay, this is the best guy. To suggest such a thing is preposterous. Literally jail for both of you. I just figured it was the quickest way to settle the question, but I won't force it. As you shouldn't. Well, if you really are a girl, then killing you would just feel kind of wrong. Romance him. I will try. I mean, he might be a fucking option. There's a goddamn million of them. Godjam. What? Why are you so naive? It doesn't matter. If you have to kill her, she dies. He said equal rights, equal death. You know what, Hichikata? I like you. Okay, bitch. Exactly. However, her gender is irrelevant. Killing in general is wrong. I mean, that's true. Based. Oh shit. No, no! Fuck. I hate that so much. Sorry, guys, have to manually go backwards. It's YouTube Rewind, and this time we were organized to protect the citizens of Kyoto. We would ill-serve the public good by murdering civilians in cold blood. That's true. Best guy? Why do they have some femme nerd over here? That one is absolutely a lesbian. This one's my favorite. I like them a lot. These two are my favorite. I like that they're little bitches. I like that they're mature. I like that they're kind of mean. That's my type. Yeah, but if this girl or boy is a threat to the peace, that's a horse of a different color. Motherfucker, just say it straight. The Shinsengumi I had already suffered a very gruesome reputation in Kyoto. If rumors spread that their men were thirsty for blood, things weren't likely to go well for them. Kyoto would banish them, and with no one to protect the people, the city would erupt into chaos. Each of their members deeply understood the consequences of behaving rashly in these times. My apologies, but I took the liberty of checking through your belongings. I mean, fuck it. It would appear you came all the way from Edo, by yourself. You didn't seem to have much. Some clothing, some pocket change, a few letters, and the sword. These are the only things protecting the city from going into chaos! Yeah! One of the letters from Ryojun Matsumoto, a shogunate-approved doctor. I assume you saw him. What is your purpose, Chizuru Yukimura? The minute my name was spoken, the vibe in the room shifted immensely. Everyone wore a stunned expression, eyes wide, and no words were uttered in response until... What about the army? And army. Sorry, I'm gonna continue to be a massive raging bitch. No, I think that's half the fun, you know? We don't get to do this very often. We always are like, oh my gosh, this is so fun, this is fun. Like, it's just fun to just shit on, and nobody gets hurt, you know? Wait, Hijikata, that name. Oh no, hey now, this can't be a coincidence. Now wait a moment, we only need to determine if you are a threat. Will you tell us your side of the story? I feel so much better about my own plot lines. Yeah, for real. At Kondo's behest, I stood up to speak. My name is Chizuru Yukimura. Under the watchful eyes of the leaders, I sharply described how I came to face them, how I lived in Edo, how I'd come to Kyoto to find my father. How lonely the city felt before I arrived. How dangerous it was that I said like 10 times. Oh, then you're from Edo as well, and you came all the way to Kyoto to find your father. Yeah, I just said that, actually. Thank you for summing that up. So, who is your father? My father is Kodo Yukimura. So the dots are connected. These guys are fucking idiots. What are you talking about? The handwriting within the letter does indeed match Kodo's, but to think you were Dr. Kodo's daughter. You know my father? The silence was enough to tell me that the revelation of my parentage caused a pronounced change in their behavior. So you've been withholding information from us? I mean, technically. What information are you talking about? Girl, were you not paying attention? There's no point in lying to us now. Out with it. What the hell are you doing at Kyoto? I just came to look for my father. I swear I don't know anything else. You came to the city fully aware of what your father, Kodo, was doing. I was only aware of my father being in Kyoto for his medical work, but I haven't seen him since last summer. That's all I know. Fuck you, dude. Just yelling at us. Look, man, I didn't do it. Automata allow me to yell at this man. Hijikata, it may be better for us to not press, because she may not know anything after all. She might be a fucking dumbass. So what do you know about my father? Where is he right now? Please tell me. The Shinsengumi is currently attempting to determine the whereabouts of Dr. Kodo Yukimura. You're after my father? So this means... Oh no, you've got us all wrong. We're not, after him. I see. Huge wave of relief came over me. He's a fellow supporter of the Shogun, but, well, he sort of disappeared a little while ago. There's a reasonable chance that the enemies of the Shogun have identified him as a threat. Ah! I let out an audible gasp, but Saito continued without paying me any mind. There is, of course, the chance he's still alive. Doctors skilled in Western medicine are quite rare. Ah! It's just funny. I don't know how else to say that. I wasn't sure what else to do, so I nodded. My heart pounded my chest, threatening to burst onto the floor. Kondo, what do you make of her situation? Would it be in our interest to help her, seeing as we are all looking for the same person? What exactly do you mean, help her? I only mean to say we should cooperate with her until we find Kodo. With her assistance, I'm sure our chances of locating Kodo will increase drastically. Huh? Looking for him may prove fruitless, however. If he's in disguise, spotting him will be difficult. I mean, he's got that bald-ass head. You are his daughter, however, you ought to recognize him no matter how he may have disguised himself, yes? Yes, of course. I nodded as I spoke while giving him what I hope seemed like a steady, reassuring smile. Besides, having her stay with us regardless can be of use to our headquarters. What do you say, Toshi? Sonnen is making a lot of sense. It's like, that sounds pretty good. If it turns out that she doesn't know anything after all, then it's true. All I know is that my father headed to Kyoto, but I don't know anything else. I swear, and I'm definitely not lying. And about last night, I didn't see anything. Okay, girl, relax. Well, if she is his daughter, we can't really kill her, can we? His eyes narrowed as he looked at me. He seems so disappointed. If you promise to keep last night a secret, we'll let you stay until your father is found. Fair? I promise that the Shinsengumi will do whatever they can to help you find Dr. Kodo. Thank you so much. See how easy that was? I'd never imagined something like this. I was elated to have escaped death, but not only had I survived, but I'd found my first decent lead. You must be glad we won't be killing you, huh? Well, won't be killing you just yet, at any rate. Alright. He gave me that same wolfish grin. There was no denying that my situation was still less than desirable, but it didn't matter for now. Yes, I'm very glad. Against all odds at last, I'd found help where I'd never have expected. The Shinsengumi. You must be glad we're not gonna kill you, huh? My first day in Kyoto was quite the adventure. In spite of everything I'd seen, my fortune was improving with every step. I still had a long way to go, but keeping positive was my only hope. Aren't you relieved, Yukimura? It's a pleasure to have you. Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure for me as well. Now. Hey, again, with her being a lady after all, I'm not sure that our all-male household is equipped for her needs. You bring up a good point. What would you have me do? Go buy some pads. Kondo crossed his arms and thought deeply. Should you require anything, you need only ask. We will do what we can to accommodate you. Thank you, Saito. Yeah, I sure hope it does. Thank you. Well, I guess we'll have to be nicer to you, now that we know you're a girl. No, fuck you, bro. Gee, didn't take long for you to change your tune when you saw she was a girl. Eh, Shin. See, Toto's a fucking real one. Toto was nice to us even beforehand. Whatever. Having a lady here at headquarters is sure gonna brighten things up, won't it? Nah, I'm gonna make your life hell, dog. I wasn't entirely sure I believed that sentiment. Even the MC's not buying into the bullshit. They're like, sounds fake to me, but okay. I'm not sure if our headquarters are up to your standards for a lady, however. But then again, she's not a soldier, so we can't expect to treat her as such. Then make her a page or something. Want an assistant, Kondo? How about you, Sen? not making us a servant. Hey, male living space. Oh, come on now, Hichikata. It's your idea, so you can't just pawn her off on someone else. Yeah. Oh, exactly. We can entrust Toshi with her. Well, there you have it, Hijikata. I hope you'll take good care of her. What a dumbass. Bro was like, anybody want an assistant? And they're like, nah, you can have her. It's like, oh, alright. You son of bitches. You can't just decide. He's just angry. As I watched their back and forth, some of my earlier relief began to ebb away. And this is how the Shinsengumi had come to look after me. Is that the end of chapter 1? Did we do it? Watch us not even. Apparently this game has 5 chapters. February 1864. Mid-February 1864. 5 chapters isn't bad. And apparently I got to chapter 2 or whatever. Like chapter 2 and like subsection 2 or something. The last time I played it, it didn't take me that long to get there. I slid the door open and met a breath of cool morning air. Clumps of thick clouds trundled silently over the city, an unusually strong wind driving them along. It's cold today. It is cold today. I shivered a bit and grabbed a jacket from near the door to wrap around myself. A week had passed since I began living in the headquarters of the Shinsengumi. I was given a room of my own, but they made it clear that I wasn't to roam freely. They weren't the best accommodations, but given how close I was to getting murdered by them, instead I thought it best not to complain. Still, do I really need to dress like this all the time? I sighed, staring at my feet on the cold floor. They'd given me temporary accommodations, but it wasn't without its strict conditions. The Shinsengumi will look after you, but we do not allow women to simply wander our doors. The Shinsengumi keeping a woman here? If such rumors were to spread, tongues would begin to wag. Even worse, I may invite guests who are also searching for Kodo to come here, looking for you. It is still up to speculation, however, whether or not he has been taken or attacked. So many unanswered questions hovering about, all the more reason to keep Reckless at a low. In other words, you need to keep this facade as a man. Do I make myself clear? Oh yeah, we're on our Mulan shit, let's go! Clear. His reasoning was sound. Perhaps more than that, I knew he was concerned not only for the Shinsengumi, but also for the safety of my father and myself. I didn't have a choice regardless, but keeping this in mind made his orders more palatable. I don't expect this to be an issue, but having a woman around could disrupt morale, so to speak. For that reason, only we, the Shinsengumi's leadership, will know the truth of your situation. It is imperative for us to keep this under wraps, for there is no telling what becomes of rumors. I understand the situation, so what should I do while I'm here? Nothing. You're gonna get a room and you're gonna stay in it. Okay, I'm sorry, like, he's a bitch and he's an asshole, but I love him. Like, for the main character, maybe not. For me, absolutely. Are you joking? He's so funny. Really? I could have sworn we decided she was gonna be someone's page. Soji, keep your tongue in your mouth or I'll cut the fucking thing off. He's the best character. He's so funny. And he hates Okita. King. Love of my life. Before long, I'd been there for a week. I guess I don't have much of a choice. No sense in dwelling on what I can't do after all. Unfortunately, I'm really enjoying this. Like, is it problematic? Does it have some weirdness? Of course, but like, is it kind of a bop? Yeah. It's my guilty pleasure now. I enjoyed the game once before, so I had a feeling I was going to again, you know? No, it's silly and fun, exactly. Although it was still a new sensation, I'd grown comfortable. It's like how I love Twilight. Like, I understand its problems, but like, you know, I'm not reading Twilight to get like good real romance, you know what I mean? I'm doing it for the fun. Exactly. I'd grown comfortable in dressing like a boy, particularly the feeling of wearing pants. We just love pants. Get this girl some pants. I straightened up and touched the kodachi that Hijikata had given back to me. This was a familiar friend of mine, the blade by my hip stretching back to as far as I can recall. I do like the MC so far too, like she knows how to use a sword, she's just down to find her dad, she lies, she tries to escape, like she's fun. According to my father, this is an important heirloom the only thing I don't like that she does is whimper, but you know, I'll just let it go. Yeah, I like MC. This is an important heirloom passed down to the Yukimura clan. As such, I was forced to take lessons in swordplay, making me well aware of what the blade was capable of. I had never cared much for weapons. Weapons hurt people. Yeah, that is what they do. Which is an obvious factor, but it was more than that, at least for me. For as far back as I could remember, I don't know when my nose got all clogged up, any wounds I suffered healed at an incredible rate. Small cuts would disappear overnight. Okay, superhero. Okay, Wolverine. As a child, I thought nothing of it, but as I grew older, I began to realize that I was not quite normal. Okay! My father insisted it was a gift of the gods, but that I should tell no one of it. I didn't tell anyone, of course. I was afraid they would treat me like a monster if they knew. Ever since then, I'd done my best not to get hurt. I stayed as far away from blades as I could, and before I realized it, I developed a fear of them. My constant need for disguise was frustrating, but my condition left me more unsettled. Still, that wasn't the only thing on my mind. The rank-and-file soldiers treated me coldly. I'm not just imagining it, right? I learned having a private room was a privilege, even for captains, for a child to arrive and receive better treatment than their own captains. Sorry about my nose, what the hell? No surprise really for the soldiers to hate me. True, I suppose I can't really blame them. I was enjoying Shinsengumi's hospitality, so I felt I should help them in some way, but I knew nothing of soldiers and their ways. I gave as much effort as possible despite Hijikata's commands for me to remain in my room. How does one calm the lonely, restless mind? I think for the soldiers, whenever the captains of our other officers would look out for me, it appeared as if they were giving me special treatment. They're just watching me. To make sure I kept my mouth shut, they took turns keeping watch over me. Any mistake on my part would cause huge trouble, so they were making an effort to keep me contained. Even I could speak with the soldiers. What conversation should we share? Nothing? My only respite from any possibility of dejection would be to stay alone, again. All I wanted from this, though, was to find my father. Even though they'd promised to help me, keeping me locked here without the ability to leave was no better than being tied up. Just when it felt like I'd made some progress into my journey, my search was kept to a halt. Perhaps, I thought, I could talk to Hijikata, if he would give me permission to look for my father. Oh no, that's right. Hijikata just recently departed to Osaka. Well, if Hijikata's not here, I wasn't sure what to do. Stay put, talk to someone, search the compound. I wonder why these are blue. Is it like based off... Are they unlocked because of a choice we made before when we ran? I have no clue. What should we do, guys? Should we stay... We're not staying put. That's no fun. Unless somebody comes to us, I guess. Search the It's gotta be like talk to somebody or search the compound. The blue ones are tempting me, though. I kind of just want to talk to someone. I'm a yapper. What can we say? Perhaps there would be someone in the inner courtyard to whom I could speak, I thought. I didn't want to be spotted by the soldiers, so I hid for a moment and scanned the area. Oh good. Things were looking up. The only people in the courtyard were Okita and Saito. Oh god. Of course they went with the fucking place that Okita's at. I cannot avoid this man. Good morning, Okita. Good morning, Saito. They showed no sign of surprise to my approach and turned lazily to greet me. Morning, Chizuru. Thinking hard at something, are we? How did you guess? We didn't have to. You just told us. At any rate, if you have something to say, then out with it. Well, I didn't want to impose or complain, but they had asked. I was hoping I could go look for my father soon. That's not possible. We don't have enough men to spare to keep an eye on you. He hadn't exactly left me any room for argument. Is there really nothing you could do? It's not like I want to go very far. Just walking around the city is enough. Well, I suppose we might be able to let you tag along when we go on our rounds. Your rounds? I must have worn a confused expression because Akita's eyes narrowed and he proceeded to warn me. This isn't just a stroll. While you're with us, you're in danger. If we make mistakes, our men die. If you don't want to get cut open by some angry Ronin, you need to be ready to fight back. Well, I do know a little bit of swordsmanship. I should be able to protect myself a little. Internally, though, I was frightened by the rounds. The last thing I wanted was to see another person die. I had seen enough of that to last a lifetime. I had to remind myself that fear couldn't rule me. No matter what, I had to find my father. Kyoto may be a dangerous place, but being paralyzed by fear would prevent me from ever finding him. In that case, allow me to test you. Let me see if that blade of yours is merely for show. Okay. What? Girl, you just said. I will hold back, but you need not. Come at me with your most powerful strike. But... Is something wrong, Yukimura? Draw your blade unless it's merely decoration. No, of course it's not. And I have taken lessons. I'm not lying. But I can't attack you. If my hand were to slip and I cut or stab you, not only would you be injured, but you could die. Don't laugh at me, bitch. I'll kill you. Excuse me, you don't have to laugh. Even the MC's like, can you shut the fuck up? Oh, that you could kill Saito? That's not funny? Huh, oh man, this is too good. Of course, I hadn't thought I could beat one of the captains of the Shinsengumi, but still, I could accidentally hurt them. There's still a chance of someone getting hurt. Yeah, exactly. If it's to help someone or to protect myself, I wouldn't think twice to draw my Kodachi. But right now, it's to test my skill. I need to look up what the blue fucking means. I'm just gonna go blue all the way. Oh, wait, are they choices that I made before? That might be it, actually. I think that's what it is, because I do have my save files in here still. So this is to test my skills, right? I don't know what that means! Okay. Seems like you are fast at understanding. Prove you can use your sword, and we may consider taking you with us on our rounds. If you are so concerned for my safety, then use your scabbard or the back of your blade. I looked down at my sword. Even with the scabbard at the back of the blade, a misplaced strike could break bones. However, this is the opportunity I waited for, and I don't want to miss the chance. I straightened up and looked straight into Saito's cold, calm eyes. Let's go! I settled into a fighting position. Saito cocked his head slightly to one side and let out a small noise I took to be a laugh. His stance stayed defensive, no sign of fear, despite the fact that I was clearly ready to attack. Did he intend to leave his sword sheathed? I stopped this thought as if to as it entered my mind. Jesus. His words were to be trusted. Here I come. As I stepped forward, I let out a yell and lunged. The backside of my blade collided with the shoulder of a defenseless Saito, or so I thought. Oh, we got a CG, y'all. Let's go. Me when I get a sword through my throat. Huh? Girl, stop saying huh. In the blink of an eye, his face was only inches from mine, and I could feel the cold steel of his blade. Aw, MC's so cute. It's so cute. See, we look like we are the same age as that other motherfucker. This is the skill of the Shinsengumi captain. My body froze and sweat dripped down my neck. Your master should be proud. Your blade was not clouded. You could see into the heart of one's swordsmanship. You were blessed with a good teacher. Thanks, Saito. He turned without another word, sheathed his sword, and began to walk away. He's like, I said my one-liner, I'm good. I then noticed how wildly my heart was beating. What was that? Ugh. This is pretty nice little blade. Looks old though. Huh? I looked over at Okita to see him holding my Kodachi. I looked down at my hand where I'd expected the sword to be. It was empty. I wrote the most insane scene the other day that had to do with blades at people's necks. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you for picking up my sword. He nodded and tossed the sword to me. I reached for it, but there was almost no strength left in my hands. I nearly dropped it. The blow of Saito's sword on my own had left my hands numb. That strength seemed almost inhuman. You alright? Gave you a bit of start, didn't he? Not surprising. Saito's a real eye master. Yes, I suppose I'm okay. But what's I felt like a little bit of a fool asking, but they seemed to think it was a perfectly legitimate question. A technique where one draws a sword from its scabbard and strikes the enemy all at once. You see how the blade points up? Yes. You wear your katana just like my Kodachi then. That's right. Older katana were once hung facing blade down, but modern blades are worn at the waist blade up. Normally, one waits until the blade is drawn, then flips the blade over and faces their opponent. As he could have easily taken my head with that blade. Had we faced an actual battle, I would have been dead sooner than I could prepare myself. And the sword is drawn with one hand. Some think it diminishes the power of your swing. That's not a problem. Saito has... it seems like he could easily finish an opponent with a single blow. Yep, Hajime's a real blood sport. He'd have finished you off right after he knocked the sword out of your hand. The only reason I survived that encounter was because Saito had never intended to kill me. A thought that made me shiver. I mean, that just seems to be a theme. That's I, then. And from a true master of the art. It left me speechless, trembling from its power. A feeling of horror began to creep and coil itself around my heart. The outside appearance of the Shinsengumi did not reflect their deadliness. It mesmerized me to witness men who could be gentle yet killers. Don't berate yourself. You have room to improve, but you have enough that we might take you along. Oh, he's smiling. Look, he smiles. I mean, you can kind of barely see it because the chat's covering him. Because fucking Okita's taking up all the goddamn room. Really? If I'd known Okita was always going to be on this left side, I would have put the chat over there. Oh shit, I skipped, sorry. I'll just read it this way. I looked from Saito to Okita. He gave me a smile and brought his hands together in a polite applause. Well, look at that. Hajime himself gave you a pass. That's pretty amazing, you know. Then that means you can take me with you. Saito was nice, yeah. Well, if the man who told you to stay here approves it, then yeah, you're good to go with us. Right. I had a feeling he was going to say something similar, so I simply nodded in agreement. You're just going to have to wait till Hijikata gets back from Osaka, sorry. Oh, you don't need to apologize, Saito. It's alright. Saito looked at me for a beat, then turned away. I thought perhaps he looked at me with pity. Oh. Well, ask the commander for permission to take you on patrol. So you think you can wait just a little bit longer? If you want, we'll keep you company. Nah, I'm good. Really? Okita smirked and I couldn't tell if he was kidding or meant it. I turned to look up at the sky, watching the white clouds gently drift apart, perhaps a shy omen. At least I had made some progress in my search, I told myself, however little. The wind had pushed the clouds off of Kyoto, and the brilliant blue they'd hidden sparkled above. Time stood still, shadows drifting along my wall. How long am I going to do this? Solitude was proving detrimental to any glimmer of hope. My heart felt heavier with each moment. How lonely the wistful, forlorn mind can become. I'd been swept up in a frightening world I didn't understand and couldn't possibly control. I can't possibly figure out what's happening to father if I'm stuck here. Only Hijikata could give me permission to leave, and he's gone. All I could do was wait. Lamenting things I couldn't change wouldn't improve my situation, would arguably make it worse. I knew I couldn't trust the men in the Shinsengumi completely. They were, after all, men who could take life in the blink of an eye. None of these Otome protagonists could survive the pandemic lockdowns. No, absolutely not. It was just as easy for them to end my life. Well, at least they've all been nice to me, for now. They're nice men deep down, right? Does anyone ever call you gullible? Why is this motherfucker always here? Can I get anybody else? There's 10 of you bitches? Why am I only getting like 1? Ah, yeah, actually. What are you doing here? Oh, you didn't notice me? No. Well, it's my turn to keep watch. Of course it is. Can we end stream now? Did you hear everything I said? Don't me. He heard me. Leave us alone. He had definitely heard me. Oh, at least Saito's here. I wanted to scream, but before I could open my mouth, Saito stepped out from behind the door. I think that's enough fraternizing, Soji. Wait, were you here the whole time too? I arrived only moments ago. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, actually. I'm sorry for screaming like that. It's nothing. At any rate, it's not as if you said anything that would cause trouble for you. Ah! Girl, stop talking to yourself out loud. Yeah, what the hell? True. She needs to start a stream. I didn't say anything bad, but still. Nobody could clip me out of context. Well, I was just embarrassed to be caught talking to myself. As Saito watched me fidgeting and mumbling, his eyes pierced right through me. I came to tell you that dinner is ready, but have I interrupted something? Oh, no, nothing at all. I had intended to wait until you and Soji finish your business, but I figured if I left the two of you alone, it would be longer before I saw either of you, so I came in. Saito shrugged shortly before we caught the sound of footsteps approaching us noisily. Oh, hey, Toto! So Heisuke shot through the door. The moment he saw us, however, his face fell. Hey guys, dinner time! My apologies, Heisuke. I'll be there presently. Yeah, you too, Chizuru. Hurry up. It's gonna be gone before you know it. Okay, I'm going. I'm sorry. He's like, you gotta eat. Sorry, Toto. I'll be there as soon as I can. He turned to leave, but he halted in his tracks. He pursed his small lips together before speaking. Look, can you drop the whole Toto thing? Just call me Heisuke. Everybody else does. Okay. Are you sure? Yeah, why not? We're practically the same age. Oh, and we don't need to use honorifics. Alright, I'll do that then, Heisuke. Great. Sounds better already. Shall we go? Yeah, we'll go. You're late. No, you're just early, bitch. Your kids are late. Who's gonna answer to my crying stomach? Shut the fuck up. You mean growling, Jen? Really, he's so simple sometimes. You're real. Tell him. You guys ought to apologize to my stomach. He wanted to dig in, but I said, no, we've got to wait for them. Okay, you're also annoying. You're such a softie, Shen. Alright guys, it's time to eat, and that means every man for himself. Man, there's barely enough there here to feed a kid, let alone a man, so I'll just have to take yours. Survival of the fittest, this food is mine. Heisuke beat his ass. MC looks so tired, dude. Hey, why do you always steal my food? It's because of the difference in size, kid. I got a bigger body. That means I need more food. Well, I'm still growing, old man, so I gotta eat more too. Sorry you had to see this, Chizuru. They're always like this. I've gotten used to it. She's like, I'm ignoring it. I'm just trying to eat my rice. How are we to deal with accepting such insanity? Oh, why aren't you taking anything? Yeah, I'm good. If I eat too much, I slow down. Hey, what do you mean slow? Whatever, I'm taking that. Go for it. So long as I got a little sake to sip, I'm good. Sounds like I'm going with sake too. Try not to worry about eating too much or being a freeloader or something, Chizuru. Just eat your little heart out, okay? Trust and believe I will. I know. I can't help but feel a little bad, though. Well, if you let that get to you, you're gonna lose. You have to protect what's yours. Okay. Aw, that was Saito talking to us. Saito's so sweet. Always eating alone made the experience of dinner with these men both an exhilarating and frightening evening for me. It was actually fun. Giggle. Giggle. See, there's that smile. Oh my god. You ought to do that more often. We're not gonna hurt you, except when you guys really try to. Harada, his mouth curled up into an honest smile of his own. Had I really looked so down? Perhaps they were all trying to cheer me up. I wasn't quite sure how to feel. I was conflicted over whether or not to feel pity for myself or to appreciate the moment for what it was. The joy seemed to be winning out, however, and I caught myself smiling as Inoue entered the room. Gentlemen, do you have a moment? As usual, his voice was warm, but in his eyes was a level of solemnity I'd never seen before, at least during our brief acquaintance thus far. The warmth of the room slowly evaporated. I've just received word from Osaka. Sanin has been gravely injured in battle. Oh yeah, I forgot! What? What happened? A dry goods store in Osaka was invaded by a group of Ronin. Toshi and Sanin arrived in time to enter the fray and subdue the Ronin. However, Sanin was stabbed during the encounter. Is he going to be alright? According to the letter, he is gravely hurt, but the wound is on his left arm. It will be hard for him to wield a blade, but he will almost certainly survive. Oh, thank goodness. I exhaled as a brief sigh of relief, but the rest of the room was tense, still itching for answers. He should be returning here in a few days. Now please excuse me, I must speak with Kondo. He turned as he spoke, his last words delivered over his shoulder, and was gone. It was Saito who soon broke the awkward silence. An injury so grave he cannot clutch his sword? Perhaps the wounds severed an artery. To wield a blade with one arm is a disservice. He may never carry a blade again if it's true. Oh. At last I understood. Fighting with a single hand would mean less strength behind his blows. Against an opponent of similar skill, he would almost certainly lose. If push comes to shove, he'll have to take it. I don't think Sanin's just gonna give up. Don't jinx him, Soji. He's gonna look bad if the officers start joining the Furies. Huh? Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Wait, that didn't make any sense. What are the Furies? Oh, so Furies come from something you drink, where an injury could be cured. Huh? Before I could move, Harada was on his feet and halfway across the room. I barely had time to gasp before he drove his fist into Heisuke. Ow! Aw! What the hell, man? Heisuke, are you alright? Sano, you're overreacting. That was my bad, Heisuke. I slipped first. You're alright. Sorry. Oh, okay. At least they did apologize, but Jesus H, guys. After a moment, Harada curtly nodded to Heisuke in apology, the latter offering a quick, pained smile. Nah, I should have been watching what I said. Still, Sato, you didn't have to hit me. Yeah, for real. Jesus Christ, huh? Like, I get they're soldiers, but relax. His punch had enough force to knock out a lesser man, but Heisuke seemed unfazed. It was never clearer how different these men were. Chizuru, everything you just heard is something you are never to repeat. I'm sure you're curious, but we can't tell you anything else, so don't ask. And forget what you just heard from Heisuke. Okay. I won't. His voice was friendly, but his eyes gave his words a cold weight that made me feel uncomfortable. The Furies that Heisuke spoke about are men to be pitied. Okita's voice was flat, emotionless. A sudden chill of melancholy entered his eyes. I couldn't bring myself to say anything more. Thankfully, Nagakura broke the awkward silence. It's nothing you need to worry about. You don't have to get all worked up. I was only a guest in their house, not a warrior of the Shinsengumi. The truth that the Shinsengumi's secrets were no business of mine, something I'd known. There was a little value in that sentiment, however. Put it from your mind. Involving yourself in our affairs will only put you in a greater danger. I bit my lip and kept silent. The wall between us was almost tangible, almost far too large an obstacle for me to defeat easily. We'll figure it out, don't worry. We'll just use our riz. Sigh. I finished my dinner in sad silence, excused myself, and returned to my room. I had a great deal to think about. Furies, huh? I wondered to myself if the Furies referred to the Rakshasa pictured in Buddhist text. I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. Though I wasn't well versed, I recalled reading a text about a man-eating demon god with that name. I have no idea where to start, from drinking the medicine to Captain becoming a Fury. No, I wasn't supposed to think about these things. I was only going to get myself in trouble if I stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Seeing or hearing the wrong thing could kill me. If I die, I'll have a hard time looking for my father. Yeah. Death has that effect, actually. It does tend to get in the way of the things you're trying to accomplish. Little known fact, I know. The Shinsengumi captains are keeping themselves hush around me, especially about the fairies. Are they doing it to protect me? Even if I dug around, I'm sure nothing good would come of it. With that in mind, I did my best to clear my head of the evening events and slipped into my futon. God, I hope this has an autosave feature, because I have not saved at all. I don't know how. That does not work. Do I have to Google it? God bless. God bless America. Give me a second. Okay. How to pause Hakuoki. Steam version. I guess I could use it with a controller, but like, I really don't want to have to. From what no, don't spoil it. I don't want any spoilers. I just want to know how to pause, bitch. I just want to know how to save. How to save. I had the same problem with the title screen not showing any visible options. I have contacted the support team, but I just found out if you press the right control, then you can see the menu. Okay, let me see. Right control. Hold up. Hey, we figured it out! The fact that I had to go to the fucking Steam settings to do that, and it did not save, so... And this is where the encyclopedia is. Okay, we did it. I don't know what... Oh god. Look how many of these motherfuckers there are. That is too many. Too many boys. March 1864. It fast approached a month since I began living with the Shinsengumi headquarters. Oh, shit. God. I hate that does that. I will say, I feel like I'm understating the story and things are progressing quicker this time around than when I played it 3 years ago. So that's a highlight, because I feel like I'm almost caught up from where I was, which is really sad in retrospect, but let's not talk about it. There's so many lads. I mean, I like being spoiled for choice, but... Hold on. Okay, so control, load... I just want to see. Okay, so I'm on chapter 1 through 3. Okay, so I am in chapter 1, but it doesn't really tell you your progress, I guess, until you get to the next chapter. So, anyway. It fast approached a month since I began living within the Shinsengumi headquarters. Hijikata and Sanin finally returned to the compound from their trip to Osaka, but spirits were low. Sanin's injury had unforeseen consequences for everyone in the organization day to day. Operations became hectic for a little while. His wounds seemed quite dire, and they drained however goodness in his nature he'd hoped to keep. Sanin would spend days holed up in his room, protected by a barrier of impenetrable silence. If he were to leave his room, a rare occasion now, he was often short-tempered and quickly retreated. Even though I too spent days in the exile of my room, he seemed to take it much differently. Sanin seemed trapped within a painful memory, each day bringing him closer to a gloomy twilight. I softly pondered what service I could offer to the Shinsengumi if I were not allowed to search for my father. I'm sure Hijikata is overwhelmed with whatever business he's dealing with, but I need to visit him. I realized with the tension so high that it's better to have Hijikata on my side rather than not. I crept around the hall looking for Hijikata, but he was nowhere to be seen. Would it be impolite to visit his room directly? As I paced around the hall in contemplation, an unknown warrior appeared before me. Who are you? Oh, this is the one that has the Dio voice. I remember that. I've been living in, which is like, he voices an anime character that I know. I've been living in the Yagi residence for a month, but he was unfamiliar to me. My current dilemma compelled me to approach him. Excuse me, have you seen Hijikata? The man turned to respond, and my eyes widened to scan his enormous frame before he spoke. And who might you be? Mind telling me what you're doing here? I live here, bitch. What are you doing here? Oh, I am... well, it's a long story. Don't make me repeat myself, answer me. I'm Chizuru Yukimura. Ah, I recall hearing the commander recruited a young apprentice as his new page. Must be you. Yes. I wasn't aware they were telling people that I was an apprentice warrior at headquarters. However, my reputation was the last thing on my mind as I faced this man's pressuring gaze. I didn't appreciate the harsh scrutiny he seemed to impose, scanning me from head to toe. So why don't you start telling me about how you know the chief and commander? I hear you're from Edo, but what kind of tricks did you have up your sleeve to slide in here? I did no such thing. Ah, but judging how defensive you became, it sounds like I'm right on target. Look, this isn't the place where someone without any worth on the battlefield or any strategy can waltz in without earning it. Bro, you don't know me. You don't know anything about me. I'm gonna ask you one more time. How did you get in with the chief and commander? Takeda, that's your name. Okay. I'm asking you a question. What makes you think you can just ignore me? Because you a bitch. He grew increasingly agitated, almost like a petulant child, because I refused to answer him. He reached his massive hand over towards me, as if to grab me, but then a voice stopped him. Hey, Takeda, what the hell are you doing here? When he recognized Hijikata's voice, he snapped his hand back to his side. Bitch. Well, Commander Hijikata, I'm here on business with Chief Kondo. That's so, I've heard nothing about this. He called me on special orders to assist him while Colonel Sonnen is out on commission. However, as it appears, Chief Kondo is nowhere to be seen, so I will be on my way now. Takeda turned to take his leave, but then he slowed his step, leaving us with a few words. As a side note, Commander Hijikata, are the rumors true that you've welcomed this young blood as your page? Yes, but it is none of your business to know more. Forgive me. I'll refrain from pressing for details, as it seems to be out of my jurisdiction. I do, however, question your predisposition towards keeping those from your birthplace close to you. It seems I forget myself. Please excuse me. Once Takeda exited the hall, I couldn't help but feel a rush of relief. Real. Hey, Yukimura, don't be walking around the headquarters without permission. Yes, sir. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Your presence here is not common knowledge, and only those staying at Yagi residence know. Be mindful of anyone who visits from the Makawa residence. Is that clear? Clear. I promise to be more careful going forward, so may I ask who that man was? That man is the captain of the 5th Division. His name is Kanrusai Takeda. His swordsmanship is decent, but he is well-read and possesses a cunning mind for military science. He's a tricky one, so be careful. Okay. Furthermore, if you have no business being out, then I expect you to stay put in your room. Hijikata attempted to dismiss me, having said what he felt was appropriate as a stern commander. Ask Hijikata if I can help around the compound, quietly return to my room. Do I want to keep... Okay, the blue choices that I made, I was going to do Hijikata first, but I don't know if I should do him first, which is funny to say. I don't know if I should go with his route first. Maybe I'll make a different decision later, but I do like this decision more so than this one anyway right now. I don't want to just go quietly to my fucking room. I didn't get many chances to see Hijikata, so I took the opportunity to offer my aid to the house. I actually have a favor to ask of you, Hijikata. Staying in my room for long periods alone makes me feel terribly useless. Would you please give me something to do? I'll do anything. Cleaning, laundry, anything. Hijikata sensed the sincerity of my plea, and it appeared as though he actually considered it. Do you really find yourself incapable of occupying your time in your room productively? He's like, can you not just write a book or something? Well, a little. Fine, I should discuss with Gen, so until further notice, stand by your orders. Really? This is under the condition that you are to keep from interacting with outsiders, understand? Understood, but thank you so much! The next day, Inoue informed me that I was given more freedom within the headquarters, which allowed me to exit my room freely. My duties included cleaning, laundry, and cooking. Not the most glamorous of chores, of course. However, it gave me an opportunity to occupy myself as opposed to going stir-crazy in my room. Upgrade! Maybe next we'll be able to go grocery shopping. June! Jesus H! So much time is passing. This poor girl's life is just slog day in and day out. June 1865. The 4th year of the Bonkyu era became the Ganji Ganen, and the summer sweetly blossomed. I don't know what any of that means, but I'll take your word for it. Spring shed its blooming skin, giving birth to lush green trees facing the wide open sky. During one of these beautiful summer days, I finished cleaning after everyone ate breakfast, and Saito brought me to the hall to Hijikata. Commander, it's Saito. I've brought Yukimura. Come in. I like that you could kind of hear him distant. Saito responded by quietly opening the sliding doors, gesturing me to enter the room. Upon entering, I saw Hijikata, but also Okita, Nagakura, Harada, and Heisuke in the hall. It appeared that only the captains who were aware of my situation were present. I know you have been waiting for some time, but the time has finally come to let you out. Hey! Really? Yeah, we're happy. Okay. I could barely contain the excitement in my voice as soon as the words came out of his mouth. So, is it true there was a man in Fushimi that matched my father's profile? We're not sure if it's true or not. It was our intention to let you verify for us, considering his daughter would recognize him best. I nodded in response. For now, any information pertaining to my father was appreciated, so I was thankful. So, where's the man who supposedly looks like my father? Our initial reports outline a place called Terada Inn in Fushimi. Saito is assigned to check. Saito is assigned? I wasn't sure if that meant I was to accompany Saito or if I would have to wait longer for him. Then Harada chimed in. But this doesn't necessarily mean Kodo is a guest of this inn. Yeah, being sighted in Fushimi could just mean he was walking around the city of Kyoto. Exactly. So that's why I'm asking the three of you, Harada, Shinpachi, and Heisuke, to take her along on your rounds to assist her search for Kodo. All of us? Usually we split up and go on rounds separately. Hijikata didn't bother entertaining a response, instead looking towards me. Was he suggesting these were the men who were responsible for dealing with me should I attempt to flee? Heisuke must have sensed this as well, so he made no attempt to push the issue any further. I understand what you're saying, but I don't like the fact that you're making us do all the babysitting. Shut the fuck up, Okita! They babysit every time you're around. I thought you planned on trolling as well, Hijikata. So, for your own benefit, why don't you just show your adorable page the ropes by having— Do not call me adorable. I will kill you with a gun. What the hell are you talking about? Aren't you the one who pushed her onto me? I'm not having any of your insolence today. She isn't my page. Maybe, but all the lower ranking men are starting to believe it. There is, after all, a grain of truth in every lie, so why don't you give her a befitting job? As Okita and— Wait, I can't tell if a page is like— I'm gonna have to look it up. Page in, like, historical Japan. What does the page mean? They are typically used when kanji is used— No, that's not what I need. Oh my gosh. In samurai terms. I guess we'll never know. Is it in the glossary? It must be, right? I need to know. Oh, in the encyclopedia. It's in alphabetical order, at least. Jesus H, look how many words you have to know. This is basically a history lesson. Imagine if every history lesson was just presented to you in dating sim format. I would have learned so much. That's actually kind of a really funny concept. OP? Are you joking? Is it not even in here? I guess we'll never know, guys. I guess we will never know. I do need to take like a slight pee break, so I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Was my mic on that whole time? Okay, whatever. I'm a professional and I'm good at my job. It's all good. As Okita and Hijikata bickered at one another, the mood of the room was locked in their tense words until Harada whispered to me, "Well, Kyoto, as you've seen, isn't the safest place right now, so don't force yourself to leave. I mean, we all know what Kyoto looks like too, so the risk doesn't have to be yours alone. I could look for my father in Fushimi, or join the patrol rounds assuming he's moved places, or stay here to keep safe from the outside. Or accompany Hijikata as his pays. Jesus, okay. What should I do? Oh, damn, alright. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know where I want to go, and I don't have a guide. I feel like, okay, so here's the thing. So I didn't want to use a guide for the stream, but I did kind of want to be in control of, like, whose route I go down first. But at this point, maybe the first one should just be determined by fate. I kind of want to choose one I haven't chosen before. I'm not staying behind. That sounds like no fun at all. Let's go to Fushimi. My father might be at Fushimi. I want to find out. Even if I had already left Fushimi, there was a chance I could find a lead to his next exact location. I'd already made up my mind. I will go to the Terada Inn, Saito. Would you mind if I come along with you? Oh! We're going with Saito? Okay. Hell yeah, best choice. Fate was on my side. Thank you. Wow, I couldn't believe I might see father. My heart pounded heavily in my chest, and I did my best to keep my composure and bow. The air was slightly humid as a thin dampness permeated despite no signs of rain. I love the word permeated. It's been a while since you've been outside, huh? How do you feel? It was even longer while since I've worn straw sandals, so blisters formed around my strap. I'm fine. I was eager to see if my father was nearby, so I ignored any minor distractions or obstacles. I see. It seemed Saito could read through my words, and he pretended to ignore my discomfort. We were headed to Fushimi, which is south of Kyoto. Hijikata mentioned my father was staying at the Terada Inn. How do we even know if it's legit? Our report comes from a local inspector. Supposedly a bald doctor practicing Western medicine stayed here, which fits your father. A bald doctor. I grew restless with anticipation from Saito's words, and my heart couldn't contain itself. Could this person really be my father? How many bald men practice this field of study? I don't know. What a funny question to ask. Let's hurry. If you need to rest, tell me. Okay. I had to make sure Saito doesn't see me as a burden, so I tucked my strap and hurried with him. Shortly after, we reached the Terada Inn located in Fushimi. Is my father really here? The inn itself looked really well kept from the outside, and Fushimi stirred in the background. I clenched my throat nervously as I approached the door, but I waited for Saito to instruct me. There appears to be a tea shop on the other side. Let's go in. Wait, we're going through the tea shop? Why didn't he go in immediately to stoop around? I had so many questions both for him and father. However, Saito seemed very calculated, scanning the area since we arrived, so it felt best to trust in his judgment. We entered the tea shop around the other side, and Saito began scoping the Terada Inn. Saito led me to a seat near the shop's balcony, and he whispered discreetly into my ear. The Terada Inn has been noted in reports as a popular destination for Satsuma domain. Because of this, I am cautious that there could be Ronin from the west staying here. From the west? From what I knew, the Choshu domain— Oh, we got a new glossary, let's go! Oh, fuck. Immediately messed it up. How are you supposed to click on that? I guess I'm just supposed to go to the glossary, I guess? Connected to the Imperial Ronin from the west as well. What does that mean for father to be here? One cannot say for certain. It could all be coincidence, or it could spell worse. Okay, well my guess is, because I really don't know, is if our dad's a doctor who practices Western medicine working with Western people, maybe he knows something, like some sort of cure-all or something. I don't know. Because we're dealing with like some sort of curse or madness demon thing going on. I don't know. That's my guess. It's somewhere along those lines. Oh no, surely it's a coincidence. Saito looked at me, but he didn't respond. The possibility of my father conducting business in Fushimi now pointed to an implicit relationship between him and the Imperialist. Ooh, but that couldn't be the case. My father explicitly told me he was visiting Kyoto under direct orders from the shogunate. Surely there was reasons for the confusion, but what kind of reason would he have for being here? Our connection with the Aizu domain means it would be careless, let alone dangerous, for us to enter the Terada Inn without tact. Therefore, I figured it would be good for you to sit here and observe the inn and its customers for clues. Is that alright? Ooh, people watching? Huh, you want me to watch the inn? Saito wasn't my babysitter, but I appreciate some backup if something went wrong. Does Saito trust me enough for him to take his eyes off me? I didn't want to mess things up. Saito, the keen eye, spoke to comfort me. Look, the Imperialists know what I look like. If any of them see me, there's no telling what they'll do to me, or even you. Don't worry, okay? I'm going to be gathering information nearby. If something happens to you, I'll be here before you know it. I mean, I trust you, Saito. I don't feel any more safe than I would be with you. He could watch my drink. Alright, but I'm holding you to that. Yeah, for real. Okay, then I'll leave you to it. Saito stood quickly and disappeared into the crowd, leaving me in my seat at the tea shop. I had to play the part, so I gathered my bearings and my new surroundings, and I approached a customer visiting the shop for questions. This is pleasant. For a second, I had to remember I was there for a mission, but it felt like I was a spy in a play. She's like really hyped about it. I gathered some intel from customers confirming sightings of a bald doctor of Western medicine who frequented the Terada Inn until a few days ago. Unfortunately, the leads ran dry for anything during the past 2 or 3 days. Huh, looks like we may have just missed him. I braced myself for the possibility that the lead was false, but even still, it was discouraging to come up with nothing. This was no time to be upset, though. Maybe he would return to the inn after finishing whatever business he was, that took him away. Longing for a loved one to return is like waiting for a wound to heal, where the memory of the time before the pain seeps into every moment after. Wow. With the approval of the tea's shop owner, I watched the happenings at the Terada Inn from the shop's balcony. Just then, a mysterious visitor approached me. Waiting for someone? Yeah, Saito. He'll be here any moment. Huh? He caught me off guard. Had he not been watching me? I turned around, nearly clutching my Kodachi. Hello? I mean, you cute, but I don't trust you. He took a seat near me, staring at my hand as if to assure me from harm. Who was this man? He didn't look like anyone I'd ever seen before. Something the matter? You look dazed. If you're not waiting, are you looking for someone? No, I'm trying to drink my tea alone, if you don't mind. Oh, no. I shook my head, unsure if he could be trusted, real. You see, well, I'm looking for my father. Ah, I see father, eh? That sounds like a predicament. Have I heard of him before? If you tell me his name, I may be able to assist you. I'm good. I'm not sure. I contemplated whether or not this man would have known my father, or even the possibility that telling this man anything would jeopardize me. However, any information he could have may help. My father visited Kyoto on a business trip, but he suddenly ceased communication with me. Rumors surfaced that someone with his likeness came to this inn, and I had to see for myself. Good. Didn't give a name? That's good. So you're from the east, then? I didn't say that. Yes, I came from Edo. God damn it. That sounds like quite the journey. I assume you're not familiar with the area either. I should help you out. I don't think you should. How should I respond? Oh, no, thank you. Are you sure? I would appreciate it. Fuck. Nah, I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Oh no, thank you. Please, don't take any offense, but I only just met you, and it would be rude to ask for your help. Ah! We're smart. He furrowed his brow deeply, pausing to think before speaking again. Oh, you're not from the area, right? I'm sure it must be difficult to explore I already said no, dog. I'm not going to say it again. Well, yes, it's true, I'm not from here. But it's like trying to catch smoke. My father being here might just be a rumor after all. I couldn't bear to trouble you with something that may just be an unsubstantiated rumor. Sorry. I see your point. Okay, speech 100. Let's go. He smirked kindly and nodded in agreement. We did it, y'all! We did it! We avoided the weirdo! I respect your position. I just wanted to lend a hand to someone if she needed it. Well, you can lend your hand to some other girl who's more willing. Smirked kindly is crazy. Do you just look for people to help often? Yeah, what the fuck? Something like that. How does the saying go? There's no such thing as coincidences. I merely enjoy giving advice, sometimes if it's not needed. Oh, so you're a mansplainer. Okay. I see. Well, thank you anyway. That's a cute smile. Yeah, but I don't trust him. He's cute, but like, either he's actually a nice guy and they're just presenting him in this kind of weird way, like as a red herring, or he's actually a fucking weirdo. And I thought I was firm in how I rejected his offer, but he just kept pressing the issue. Yeah. I repeatedly refused his help, but for whatever reason, he would insist on being a gentleman. Yeah, nice guy alert. In the end, it would seem he didn't actually respect my position or my agency. The MC is so fucking... She's so cogniferous. She's so aware. She understands. Yeah, MC. Well, thank you for trying to help me, Mr... Oh, my name? Folks around here know me as Umataro Saitani. Nice to meet you. His face remained calm behind a wry smile. Ah, Saitani. My name is Yukimura. It's very nice to meet you. God damn it! Are we stupid? I was literally like cheering us on that we didn't say our father's name. Like, we did such a good job, and they're like, I'm Yukimura! Bitch! I was just praising you 2 seconds ago. Yukimura, huh? You know, some say that your name matches your figure, and what the fuck does that mean? I'd have to agree. You think my name matches my figure? What's your first name? With such a cute face, you must have a cute name as well. It has to be. Maybe there's a lot of Yukimiras. Maybe, but we said our name to like the Shinsengumi, and they were all like, oh, it's her. You know? Leave us alone, creep. Well, cute is kind of a stretch. Bitch. If I told him my name is Chizuru Yukimura, he might suspect me to be a woman. Wait, does he not already know you're a woman? Or is he biking? Oh, well, it's okay for you not to tell me. They do say every woman has her secrets. Yeah, we are not as well disguised as we like to think we are. After he said those words, I gasped and covered my mouth with my hands. Wait a minute, Saitani, I'm not a woman. Huh, you can't be serious. You are a woman, or do you take me for a fool? I would never take you for a fool. I don't know you. I have a joke that I cannot make on your stream. DM it to me. Well, I'm sure a cute girl like you has plenty of men bothering her all around town, so I think it's smart for you to dress like a man. Thanks? Yeah, actually, like what? The nonchalantness of his response made me practically faint from relief. So why don't you go ahead and tell me your first name, eh? Yeah, I'll give you a fake one. Just like I would give you a fake number if you're in this scenario right now. Considering he's already figured out I'm a woman, I saw no harm in being honest with him. MC, please. You're making it so hard for me to fight for you right now. My name is Chizuru Yukimura. Chizuru, huh? I knew it. I knew it would be a cute name. Just as fitting on a cute girl. Thanks. You think so? Enough about that. What kind of men do you like? Bro is so... Okay, I kind of... Look, he's being pushy. And like, yeah, that's not great. But like, if he had started with this as just kind of being forward and fun, I don't mind that normally, but like, after all the other shit, it's just like, okay, dude. I do find it funny how like open he is. If you had to go on a date, where would you go? Saitani, we're not talking about me right now. I thought you were gonna help me look for my father. The MC's like, yeah, dog, I'm not even thinking about that right now. We got other shit to do. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that. Useless. I thought you were a helper. Saitani's talent appeared to be in engaging seemingly endless conversation. Okay, he's me. Unfortunately, he's me. Since he was the first person outside of the Shinsengumi with whom I'd spoken, I completely lost track of time. Luckily, Saito appeared to rescue me. Yeah, thank you. Yukimura, sorry for keeping you. I just returned. Oh, hi, Saito. Ah, it looks like your friend came back. My boyfriend, actually. Why didn't you just assume that? I should get going now. You don't need my help here. Okay, that's weird as fuck. That's really weird. You're weird. Saitani stood up from his seat slowly, appeared dejected, as if I'd broken his heart. I do not care. I do not care. Will later Chizuru hope fate brings us together again? I'm sure it will. Get away from us. Oh, maybe. She doesn't care either. Before I could tell him goodbye, Saitani had wandered off. Saito focused on him, making sure he was out of earshot, and muttered quietly into my ear. Who is that man? I have no clue. He snuck up behind me earlier. Supposedly his name is Saitani. How did it go, Saito? Were you able to find anything useful about my father? I will brief you on our journey back to headquarters, but don't get your hopes up. Oh. I felt my stomach drop from his words, and I assumed it meant the lead was false. I clenched my fist tightly, fighting back angry tears. I couldn't let Saito see my disappointment. Hold on. I'm gonna go pay for your bill. Okay. I was an interesting scene, though. I kind of liked it. Saito and I headed back to the base, and I noticed fireflies grouping in circles as he updated me. The bald doctor staying in Terada Inn was, in fact, someone different than my father, who just happened to match his description. My apologies. I brought you all the way to Fushimi, and there was nothing to show for it. This must have seemed like a waste of time. Oh, please, don't worry. Even though we learned nothing about my father, I was able to get some fresh air. That's nice. Still, I couldn't shake the worry for my father. Saito looked to me reassuringly, and his face lit brightly as he remembered something. Oh, by the way, the man you were talking to earlier. Oh, you mean Saitani? He was an odd man. Usually I can read people, but his outward demeanor was overly friendly, while his body language seemed guarded. Yeah, I don't trust that dude as far as I can throw him. I guess I didn't notice. To me, Saitani didn't seem guarded at all, judging by how open he was with his stories. Was something troubling you about him, Saito? He nodded in response, looking away from my face. You can tell a swordsman by their expression. I assume him to be some sort of ronin, and if he's from the area, he's likely to be a warrior of the Satsuma domain in the west. A ronin, He seemed too jovial to be a lordless samurai, especially the one causing trouble in Kyoto. From what it seemed like in our conversation, he was the furthest thing from a warrior. I only tell you this because you shouldn't let your guard down. The state of Kyoto has been unsafe, and I want you to be extra careful. I mean, we were, until we were like, I'm choosing, like, why do we do that? Why do we do that? Understood. I wonder who this Saitani man really was. My first adventure into Fushimi taught me many things, and I could only await what came next. Oh, we're at chapter 2, baby! We're at chapter 2, we did it! We're making progress, we're almost caught up from where I was last time, which is actually really sad. I thought I was playing for like a long time and I was fucking wrong, because I remember doing like multiple sessions too, but apparently not. No news of my father came forth the other day, and somber restlessness took hold of me. Originally, it seemed Hijikata granted me approval to accompany the captains on their rounds through Kyoto to search for my dad, then he called me in. Excuse me. I saw Okita and Heisuke had been summoned along with me, and I felt a partial sense of relief. It did a little to calm my chattering nerves, and I didn't want to be in a bad spot with Hijikata. You called me? Hijikata seemed to be in a foul mood, so I decided it was best to act with tact in his presence. I was thinking about the search for Kodo, but maybe it's best to put a halt to it for now. What? But why? We just started looking for him. Stopping now would surely cause any of our leads to run dry. His words stunned me. How could he back out on this? Hijikata remained deeply composed. We have reports of activity from the Choshu, and they do not bode well for us. It would be highly dangerous for you to be out and about. I'd heard how the warriors of the Choshu domain associate with the Imperial Nationalist Party. For some reason, they find foreigners repulsive, using brute force to prevent any foreign presence. Epic. Epic, we're dealing with Nazis. All of their faith is aligned with the Emperor. The Shinsengumi, on the other hand, serve the Shogun, meaning they are directly opposed. If the Choshu is active, it could mean that my goal is of little concern to the Shinsengumi. I might become something of a burden to them. So are you asking me to refrain from joining the rounds until things from the Choshu domain settle? Hijikata nodded and turned towards the two men. That being said, as of right now, she is not to accompany any rounds with any captains. Oh, I get it now. That's why you pulled us in here, right? Heisuke seemed 2 steps behind Hijikata's words until this very moment where it seemed to click. You know, she never caused any trouble during any rounds she joined us in. I kind of feel like it shouldn't be a problem if she tagged along. Yeah, even if something were to happen, as long as she doesn't get involved, it should be fine. I mean, I do appreciate Okita, like, trying to give us more freedom. I mean, it's not like she can run away from us if things get sticky, right? It's getting sticky. I won't run. I knew he wasn't being serious, but I couldn't stand to keep my mouth shut. I made up my mind the minute the men in the Shinsengumi agreed to help me find my father. I made a vow to never run from the Shinsengumi for as long as they helped me find my father. My desire to find my father showed no signs of slowing, even since I first arrived in Kyoto. I will keep my vow. So please, please allow me to continue looking for my father. I bowed to Okita, keeping my eyes locked with his. His smirk, however, shrunk slowly as he gazed towards me, caught in between words to say, "If you stay with us, you're putting yourself at risk. If you want that risk, feel free to join us." I don't care about the risk, clearly. I mean, we have witness reports that fit the profile and description of Kodo. You may have a point, but are witness reports enough justification to put her in harm's way? What if you're wrong? What if she's exposed? Do none of you understand you're placing an unnecessary burden on yourselves? I promise I won't cause any trouble, please. If I lose opportunity to search for my father, then the chances of finding him will sink. I lied, prostrate before him, and Hijikata simply sighed heavily. You better follow the orders of every captain you join. No ifs and or buts. Am I clear? I mean, I have. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. I didn't know how else to show my gratitude, so I bowed deeply again. I'm leaving it to your discretion over whether or not you're going to join them. That's on you. Alright. Yay, I get to do whatever I want. I had to make sure this was my best decision. There was something in his demeanor that made me unsure of my desire to leave the compound. Still, if I was with Okita or Heisuke, I'm sure I'd be safe and well protected. On the other hand, my presence could be an undue burden on them. I mean, if it's Okita, I don't give a fuck. What was I to do? Okay, so I've done both apparently, and I don't remember either, so... Leave and search, I think, is where I want to go. I want to be active. And then see if I die, you know? Huh? It feels like there are more people walking around than usual. The streets of Kyoto were packed with people shuffling into the shops and businesses all over. Chizu, remind yourself, try not to wander off or something. Remember that you're here to keep me company on route. Fucking Sorry, I was distracted by all the people. The city is filled with so much cheer. I guess I just couldn't help myself. Okita's eyes twinkled and he smiled voraciously, and I could sense him relax. Well, the Gion festival's coming up. Things are more lively than usual. I'll give you that. Of course, some of those nationalist Ronin are acting pretty suspicious too. What I'm saying is watch yourself, alright? Okay. We're really not that troublesome. We walked down in Kyoto's largest street alongside the First Division. No one came within a few yards of us. They stepped away the moment their eyes met the bright blue of the Shinsengumi jackets. I noticed this phenomenon briefly when I first joined the Shinsengumi on their rounds, but it was clear the people of Kyoto feared them. Excuse me. I paused every so often and asked some of the less intimidated passerbys if they'd seen my father. I'm looking for someone. He's in his 40s and speaks with an Edo accent. He's a doctor and he's friendly. He's a friendly bald man. I love that bald is one of his just main descriptions. After a few hours of searching, I met someone who claimed to see a man matching my description. Oh yeah, I think I might have seen that guy a while back, over at Masu's. As he spoke, he pointed towards a store selling wood and charcoal. Thank you so much! Okita caught my eye and gave me a stern look. He looked as if he was going to reprimand me when... You there, you Ronin? Give us the name of your lord, if indeed you even serve one. The cry came from Shinsengumi soldier, and Okita turned, his lips tightening into a thin line. Well shit, I guess they would choose the worst possible time to stir up trouble, eh? His hand dropped to his sword as he ran towards the commotion. Townsfolk shrieked and ran like leaves before a gale. Whoa! In a sudden press of fleeing citizens, I found myself pulled away from Okita. For a moment, I panicked, but realized that perhaps it was best. If I stayed close, how he would have been forced to keep attention on me. I hoped to avoid distracting him. Ooh. I hid in an alley to watch, and I could return to the First Division once the tension simmered. Fuck that skip button! God! The second I pressed it, I knew. I paused for a moment. A stray man was inviting me into a store. Not strange on the face of it, perhaps, but I was warned many times to be on my guard. Yeah, so don't do it. I was about to politely refuse when I realized it was the store to which the man pointed earlier. Excuse me, but is this Masu's? Yes, it is. Great! You see, I'm looking for someone, and... Mr. Kimon, I just saw that kid with Okita, the Shinsengumi captain. What? Huh? I'm not one of the Shinsengumi. The Shinsengumi, run for it! No, it's not like that. I'm just looking for someone. Even if I had been walking with them, the rejection of the store's customers seems excessive. You really have the worst luck, don't you? Still, I guess you could say the same about them or me. He gave a small, unconcerned shrug and leapt through the door of the shop. Masu's exploded with the clang of blades, men swearing and scrambling across the furniture. What is the meaning of this? What on earth had just happened? Yeah, I'm confused too, to be honest. When we returned to the Shinsengumi headquarters, Sanin had a number of less than pleasant words. We kneeled for some time as the colonel berated us before Okita finally spoke up. You don't need to lose your head over it, Sanin. After all, we arrested a couple of Choshu people. When the fight was over, we discovered a massive arms cache and confiscated the entire thing. No one bothered to explain to me what was happening, however, and I was utterly lost. Not something to lose my head over. My head is right where it belongs, Okita. Perhaps you should inquire after yours. Yeah, your big-ass, round-ass head. The man claiming to be Kimon Masu was in truth Shuntaro Furutaka, a Choshu spy. Damn. You are aware that Shinsengumi was allowing him to operate in hopes of gathering enemy intel? Yes, I was, but we didn't have a choice this time. I had to bring him in. Well, it's not like it was a total bust. Like Shoji said, they did arrest some guys. Don't you feel bad for Shimada and Yamazaki? They were staking out to keep an eye for Furutaka. The corners of Heisuke's mouth twitched into a smile, but Shimada interrupted him to continue. Who are you guys? I'm confused. What's going on? We appreciate your concern, Toto, but nobody needs to lose any sleep on our account. We were getting nowhere with Masu's the last few days anyway. Okita did us a favor. Doubt. Yamazaki nodded in silent agreement. Furutaka arrest is over and done. You won't hear any complaints from us about it. Man, you two are the definition of stoic and reasonable, Soji, on the other hand. It didn't seem Nagakura was going to let Okita get away without rubbing his mistake in his face. But Kai Shimada and Susumu Yamazaki serve as Shinsengumi's officers and spies under Hijikata. Okay. Aside from the captains who stay at the Yagi residence, they are some of the few people entrusted with the knowledge of my situation. In other words, these men are highly valued officers within the organization. Despite their resounding support, I felt a rush of guilt sweep over me and I spoke up. I'm so sorry, it's all my fault. Some Ronin were causing trouble, so I tried to get out of the way. I got separated from Okita and the crowd, and I didn't go right back to him. Before I really realized what was going on, someone just started shouting at me. So who was tasked with looking after you? He glared at me, his eyes hard and angry, and my throat tightly clenched into dryness. The captain of our first division can't even track a charge. Is this the best the Shinsengumi can do? When I first met him, Sonnen had been nice, if a little quiet. After his injury, however, it was as if he'd become an entirely different man. I told her she could go. They were only following orders. Sudden looked up as Hijikata walked into the room. He gave the commander a tight, wry smile, but got only a peaceful, impartial glance in return. If you're here, that means you're done interrogating Furutaka, right? They're going to wait for a day when the wind picks up, and then set Kyoto on fire and kidnap the emperor while everyone else is losing their shit. So they say, at least. His voice was calm and measured, but we all felt the import of his words. Burn down the city? Those Choshu guys are crazier than I thought. So they just want to kidnap the emperor? Seems a little contradictory for a bunch of guys who call themselves imperialists. Whatever their reasons, we cannot ignore them. They're probably meeting tonight. We need to get ready to move out. Understood, Commander. Alright, finally, I'm getting chills. Alright, settle down. It ain't that deep. Even though each man displayed his professionalism differently, they were all clearly prepared. As they quieted down, Hijikaza turned towards me as if he had only just noticed my presence. We did get some information on Kodo. Apparently he visited Masu's with some men from the west. What? So the rumors that he had been seen in Kyoto were true, but that's all there is to it. My father with someone from the west? But my father went missing in Kyoto. How would he be with someone from the west? Okay, people from the west travel, MC. What the hell? But no one had an answer for me. Except me. Preparations for the raid began immediately. Within moments, the compound was like a beehive, with soldiers and officers running back and forth. The tension felt thick enough to cut with a knife. I found it affecting me, despite my best efforts. My encounter at Masu's created some of their current headache, and I had hoped to make up for it. Hey, can I... Oh. It became clear to me that I had very little to offer when it came to preparing for a raid. At the end of the day, all I could do was stay quietly at the side to avoid being a burden. Just then, I heard someone's voice out of the blue. We don't have enough men. Kodo has only 10 soldiers ready to fight. Hijikata and I have 24 apiece, right? Everyone's sick. Not so funny, eh, Saito? Oh, that's right. There were a handful of men who were bedridden from a swift food poisoning epidemic, leaving them short-handed in battle. Okay. They planned on dividing the troops in half. Kodo's troop will go to Akita Inn, and Hijitaka's troop will head to Shikoku Inn. So you think we'll bring them along on this one? It's a night mission, it'd be perfect. Them. We lost a couple the other day, but there should still be a few left, right? I heard they won't be seeing combat for a while. They're having some difficulty adjusting. They stop listening to orders as soon as they see blood. It's rather inconvenient. What? I swore I heard something about a reaction to blood, but this is something I was not supposed to hear. The two men hadn't realized I was listening to their conversation, but it was crucial that I don't say anything. They've got to be spinning in their graves. Didn't they choose to do this so they could fight? Sano, you only say that after someone's actually dead. Yeah, I guess you're right. They aren't really dead, are they? In fact, they're even harder to kill now. So there was no doubt that I was hearing what... So they're like zombies who like go into berserker mode or something? I shoved my fingers into my ears and sang La 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 by Sam Smith, and closed my eyes tightly. The best I could do was make sure I didn't hear anything else. Girl, you were already there! Oh, what are you doing there, Yukimura? Hey, my eyes flew open to see Kondo in front of me. I couldn't just sit there. I told him the truth, how I'd felt so useless, and left my room to find some way to help. Of course, I see. I know how you feel. The men are pretty excited, aren't they? Yes. Excited. More like bloodthirsty, to be honest. Would you care to join us? What? That was not what I expected him to say. You mean go on a raid with you? I don't know what I could... You could... You see, many of my men are out with food poisoning, so we're short understaffed. Well, we could certainly use a messenger, but if you'd rather not, there's no need to feel obligated. You raise a good point. Not that he mentioned it, I did remember hearing that Kondo's troop only had 10 people in it. Well, alright, if I'll just be a messenger. His face split into a grin, and I found myself on the way to the Ikeda Inn to accompany the raid. Kondo's presence was relieving, and his good nature gave me comfort in asking him a question. Kondo, your uniform is different than the one your other men wear. The Shinsengumi's unique light blue uniform made it so anyone in Kyoto would recognize them. However, Kondo's uniform is white, almost cream, setting him apart from his men. Oh, this? This white uniform is for charging into dark areas, allowing us to see each other with more clarity. I see. I didn't know the corpse uniform came in so many varieties. Their usual outfit was well-fitting, and the colors stood out, but this white uniform was more elegant. I smiled while I looked at his uniform, and I braced myself for what was to come. Hour of the Dog? That sounds kind of cool. Fuck if I do that again. Take a sip every time I press the fucking spacebar. After we arrived at Akita, I was sent off on several short errands nearby. I returned to hear Nagakura talking to Akita. Oh, my two favorite people. Well, looks like if we hit the checkpoint on this one, not sure if they're brave or stupid for meeting right next to the government building. I knew they'd be here. After all, they're always met at Akita before. Sure, but the night Furitaka gets arrested, that just seems sloppy to me. Aren't they afraid of looking suspicious? Well, obviously they're somewhat less than normal. They are meeting at the Akita Inn, aren't they? Nagakura and Okita's conversation was very lighthearted, which didn't quite suit the subject matter. Perhaps the Choshu were trying to trick the Shinsengumi. I certainly wouldn't have known. Whatever the reason for their behavior, however, neither Nagakura nor Okita seemed worried. Heisuke noticed me as I approached and jogged over. So how did it go, Chizuru? Did you see anyone from Aizu or the Judiciary Commissioner? To be honest, I didn't really see anyone nearby. So they still haven't made their move. We told them even before it's starting to get dark. Settle down, Heisuke. The larger man smacked Heisuke playfully on the shoulder with a bark of laughter. Besides, it won't do us any good if they show up. If this is gonna happen, we gotta do it ourselves. Yeah, I guess. It's just, don't you think running in on our own is a little reckless? Heisuke frowned, and Takeda, who was on standby behind Heisuke, nodded in agreement. Charging with this amount of men is reckless. We should wait for Aizu's domain reinforcements. If you say so, Takeda. Alright, why don't we wait a little longer? I'm getting a lot of Fire Emblem vibes. Which I love Fire Emblem. That's not a bad thing. Oh. But no matter how long we waited, the officials never came. Damn, they low-gained us. Hour of the Boar. I looked up at the sky. The moon inched itself further across the sky since we'd arrived at Akita Inn. Damn it, it's getting pretty late. What do you want to do, Kondo? It'd be pretty lame if we just sat here all night. The chief had been quiet all this time, but when Okita addressed him, he finally stood up to speak. We can't wait a moment longer. Soji, Nagakura, Toto, you lot follow me. Okita nodded quietly but firmly. Well, I will secure the front entrance so you guys have at it. What? Are you not going to come, Takeda? It's all good. I mean, we don't want him in the dark and then mistakenly stabbing us, you know? Oh, actually, we may mistakenly stab him. I mean, doesn't sound like a horrible thing. Maybe you guys should stab each other. Just for fun, you know? Okita, what are you suggesting? Now, if you want someone charging, we want someone reliable anyway, so with that said, take care of the outside, Takada. Huh. Okay, don't be tsundere. Yukimura, can you stay away from the Ikeda Inn? Things are gonna get dangerous. That place is full of rebel soldiers. We don't intend to allow them to escape, but better safe than sorry. Alright. He stood up smiling curtly and ran to the inn. We are the Shinsengumi, retainers of the Lieutenant General of the Aizu Domain. By imperial decree, you are all under arrest. They really are the police, huh? His declaration was met with a cacophony of yells and screams erupting from out the inn, giving the enemy a good loud warning that it's about to kick the tar out of them. That's Kondo for you. Seems like good form anyway. It's polite to let them know what they're up against. Oh, so your definition of good form is putting us at a disadvantage? Heisuke and Nagakura grinned at one another as they sauntered towards the inn. We act with the authority of the government. Resist and you will be shown no mercy! We will shoot you! So dramatic. Then the battle began in earnest. The yells of men and the clang of swords filled the air, rolling out through the doors. I remember getting to this part, and I think afterward is when I stopped, because I do remember what happens here. I heard the feet pound upstairs, the screams of men dying, the wet thud of bodies dropping to the floor. Let the body... Damn it, there's too many of them. We need backup. Is there anybody still out there? It's just us. Well, there was someone, but... All the men who'd come with the captains ran around the back and couldn't hear Nagakura. Takada, on the other hand, was stationed outside to arrest anyone trying to flee the building. What should I do? The only person left to go help them was me. But even if I did, what could I do? That was when I heard Kondo. Soji, are you alright? Nagakura called out from somewhere else in the inn. Damn it, Heisuke, don't die on me. Not Heisuke! Oh no! I had no desire to enter a slaughterhouse with men killing one another. Even if I did, I had no illusions about my skill with a blade. I was sure to be killed before I'd even drawn it. But I could hardly stand around doing nothing. Oh, I thought there was going to be a choice. Perhaps if I couldn't fight, I could rescue the wounded, find them, and carry them out of the inn? I made up my mind, steeled myself, and ran inside. Inside it was pitch black. The smell of blood hit me in the stomach like a fist filling the air. There were dark lumps on the floor everywhere, the bodies of fallen men. Where were Okita and Heisuke? It had sounded like a good idea at the time, but as I looked around the charnel house, I realized there was no way I could carry 2 men outside. What should I do? I've like... Look for Okita is crazy. Should we do it? Should we fuck around and do it? Scope things out is crazy. I feel like that's like a quick way to just die. Wait, I should save. I know how to do that now. Save. I also find it funny that when I played, it was around the same time as I'm playing now, like in December and January. What should I do? A part of me kind of... I'm gonna look for Okita. I'm just gonna do it. I decided I had to look for Okita because I'm insane. I knew I'd cause trouble for him during- No. He caused trouble for us. Noon patrols, but he never called me out for it. It seemed only fair that I tried to return the favor. Sorry, Heisuke, don't die! A Ronin came out of nowhere, falling down the stairs and screaming. My Kodachi was in my hand before I even realized I'd drawn it. Then, Kondo's sword slid through his heart. Ah! I just watched a man die. Was it the first time? What are the rest of your men doing? He did his best to act calmly, but I could tell my appearance had both surprised and worried him. I'm sorry, but can you see... You see Tsuji? He's upstairs with one of those damnable Ronins. I doubt he'll lose, but he could still be hurt. His opponent looks to be a difficult one. Yes, sir! I nodded quickly and ran off through the carnage. He's upstairs. Excuse me, sorry. That's how I feel about rescuing Okita. Summed up right there. I took them 2 at a time and landed hard on the top floor. It didn't take long to spot him. Oh, I don't remember this dude. Oh, only a few feet from me, Okita was pedaling around and I don't know why I struggled. I felt my stomach lurch. The cold ring of steel against steel tore through the air, and their blades flashed lines of light in the darkness. You know... His voice is so quiet. You know, you have me wondering how the Shinsengumi were doing. This is the best you can do? The strange Ronin's eyes narrowed and his mouth curved into a smug smile. I'd seen he looks like a little dog. Like a little sharp, little spiky dog. I'd seen Okita train with the soldiers, and his skill with the blade had been clear, but this Ronin, the way he dodged, parried, and slowly drove Okita back seemed almost effortless. Well, I don't care to waste any more time on you. I'm taking off. Thanks for the dance, chump. Yeah, you tell him. As you whisper it, the blood and violence that was choking me in had no effect on him, it seemed. He was so peaceful, in fact, that he hardly looked like he belonged in the middle of all that carnage. Sorry, pal, but I can't do that. You're our enemy, so you gotta die. That's how that works. A smile split his face for a half second, and then he launched himself at the Ronin. Their swords slammed together. To my untrained eye, it looked as though the Ronin was a self-taught swordsman. His sword moved in large, crude arcs, while Okita responded with skill and finesse. In a contest of skill, Okita would have been the clear winner, but as their blades sprang apart, it was always Okita who found himself pushed back. The Ronin's sword was heavy but fast. It was clear he was Okita's superior in raw power. The summer heat had turned the air thick and humid. I could barely breathe. Sweat poured down my spine and beaded on my face as quickly as I could wipe it off. Wait, she said that twice. I decided to distract the Ronin with what, a hula dance? Or look around the room? I'm sorry, I interpret that as like they're fighting and then she's just in the corner just like, hey yo, what? I don't know which one's funnier. Do we want to do a hula dance or I'm looking around the room, fuck it. But I should probably save first in case like I die by doing this stupid stuff. It's Okita, I don't care. If we could hit him while his guard was down, then perhaps we might be able to escape. Once we go down the stairs, Kondo and his men would be there to back us up. I glanced around, the music's going crazy. I glanced around the room and then I saw him. One of the Ronin who'd been struck down earlier was still alive and moving. His face was pale and waxy, but his knuckles were white with strain as he pulled himself to his feet, sword in hand. Okita hadn't noticed him. Okita, behind you! Without even bothering to look at me, Okita spun around to face the half-dead Ronin. Should have run when he had the chance. Even as he spoke, Okita's sword flickered out, shaking across the wounded man. R.I.P. Rip. This time, he didn't get up. A man had just died because of me, but if I hadn't said anything, then it would have been Okita lying still on the floor. I couldn't let that happen. Girl, just, look, you've been a part of way too many murders at this point. You just gotta just accept it. You would turn your back on me? You must think me a fool. The strange Ronin's sword whipped through the air, little more than a silvery blur. Okita accepted the blow with the sword. However, the opponent's blow from above was too powerful. Okita stumbled ever so slightly, but the man did not miss his opportunity. I do like the pacing and like the presentation of everything, like the music. I am feeling the intenseness, even if I really don't care about Okita. The Ronin's foot slammed the center of Okita's chest. The source of his tremendous strength apparently extended to his legs, as well as his sword arm. I heard a wet crunch as the kick connected, and Okita tumbled across the floor of the room. When he stopped, I saw him grip his chest and cough. Okita! I leapt across the room. Are you alright? His face was tight with pain. The most he could manage was labored gasps and wet, tearing coughs. Okita was in no condition to fight. As I struggled to move myself under his arm to lift him up, I glared at the strange Ronin. I don't suppose you mean to kill me as well. Let's have at it. I like watching children squirm. Okay. Huh? I watched the tip of his blade drift up to me. With a groan of pain, Okita lifted himself up and stumbled between me and the Ronin. Wow, what a CG. No, Okita, you can't. There was a good chance he had broken bones, as if he was coughing blood, then his internal organs could be damaged as well. This is the best choice. He could barely stand, let alone fight, and he was making no attempts at hiding it. But he stood firm. You're fighting me, right? Leave the kid alone! I'm not a kid! Whatever. The Ronin sneered. What a fool. Just what do you intend to do? You're good as dead. You could scarcely stand. Shut up, I've still got some fight left, you bastard. This dialogue. New flecks of blood appeared as he shouted. Stop that, you're still coughing up blood. Girl, it's either this or die. What choice? The Ronin regarded us with cool, disinterested eyes for a few moments, then in one smooth motion, lifted his sword and slid it into his scabbard. What? The moment their meeting was interrupted, my business here was at an end. That was entertaining, Shinsengumi. However, your swordsmanship was a pathetic display. Damn. His aloofness was amplified by the satisfaction he drew with his every word. He placed his foot out the window, cackling to himself as he jumped through gracefully. What the fuck? Did he just run? Bro really said, "I'll come back for you." And then leaped out the window. No, he hadn't run. He was letting us go. Damn it, I could still fight. Yeah, if you say so. Okita! His voice was weak. Why did you do that? Why did you do what? Fight? Okita turned his head to look at me. You always said you'd kill me if I got in your way. So why had he protected me? He raised a shaky eyebrow. Huh, yeah, why did I do that? He really was like, yeah, I didn't actually... I know, he's just joking. His words were already slurring. I'll figure that out later, but I really gotta kill that... Akira! His eyes fluttered and his body folded as he collapsed to the floor. Huh? I've been so worried about Akita I hadn't noticed. The sounds of screaming men and clattering swords had disappeared. Is it over? Soji, are you alright? The moment the words were out of my mouth, I heard the sound of labored footsteps on the stairs. And we're back in Kyoto! I guess. Finally, the sun rose from the black sky. The raid itself had lasted only 2 hours, but for me, at least, it had felt far longer. There had been 20 Imperial nationalists at the Akita Inn. The Shinsengumi had killed 7 Ronin and injured 4 more. Those seem like realistic numbers, actually. I do kind of appreciate that. I learned later that with the help of the Aizu domain and the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner, they arrested 23 people. Wow. The owner of the Akita Inn had also been arrested for trying to help the Choshu rebels escape. The Shinsengumi had won an incredible victory, fighting against superior numbers in enemy territory, but they paid dearly for it. Okita had taken the blow to his chest and lost consciousness. Heisuke had been cut on the forehead. No! And the bleeding refused to stop. Nagakura had injured his left hand. Oh, all the people except Heisuke that I could barely care about. One of the Shinsengumi soldiers lost his life at the inn's rear entrance, and the 2 others were severely injured there as well. It didn't seem likely that they would survive. The Kyoto military and judiciary commissioners also fought the Choshu Ronin. With their successful resolution of the Battle of Akita Inn, the Shinsengumi had, at last, made a name for themselves. It looked as though the peace in Kyoto had been protected. Never could I have imagined what the ultimate result of their victory would be. What would it... What? I mean, the good news is I can't really predict what's going to happen, which is nice. I do like in stories, I feel like there's a lot of stories where I kind of get where they're going already, and I tend to lose interest if it's, like, really predictable. But I don't feel like it's too predictable, to be honest. End of July, 1864. Weeks passed since the Battle of Akita Inn. In the meantime, the Shinsengumi grew stricter during their rounds to arrest the numerous outlaw Ronin that escaped from the Akita Inn. Rumors surfaced of extremists who were plotting to exact revenge on the Shinsengumi. Additionally, there were also problems occurring with warriors spanning from other domains, making things tense around the headquarters. Things were finally settling down. As a result of my efforts during the battle, they grew more encouraging of my involvement. The Shinsengumi allowed me to sweep the area in front of the headquarters of my own. One day, I was cleaning the courtyard with a broom when I heard gentle footsteps approaching me. Excuse me, but is this the Shinsengumi headquarters? It is. Oh, yes. Is it me or this person kind of looks like the other person that was introduced? Like Saisani, whatever his name was? The voice came from behind me, so I was caught off guard when answering. Yeah? Huh? I'm what? Hijikata showed up suddenly, as if he telepathically knew I was speaking to someone. What the fuck? Oh, Hijikata, this man is... Before I could finish my sentence, the man ran towards Hijikata. Oh, I knew it! Toshi! It's me! Hachiro! Long time no see! Wait, Hachiro? What the hell are you doing here? When Hijikata realized who it was, his eyes grew wide. Who is this? Are you surprised? I visited Kyoto with shogunate orders. Forget about me. Man, so it was you connected to the Shinsengumi. I couldn't believe it until I made sure for myself. Congratulations, you really did become a samurai. Come on, don't mock me. I mean, we're treated no better than any Ronin. Yes, but your dream of becoming a samurai came true. Hey, I said don't mock me. He's not! He's being nice! Oh, come now. The Shinsengumi are famous in Edo. You are so feared that even crying children go hush. I heard about your victory at the Ikeda Inn. It would seem you lot are flourishing. Well, we're working on it. Is he blushing? Are you serious right now? The first time he blushes is because this fucking dude out of nowhere. I know what you are, Hijikata. I know what you are. How very unlike himself. Hijikata seemed to be flustered and his cheeks were rosy. Make fun of him for it. Judging from their conversation, it appeared that the gentleman had come to visit Hijikata. The rhythm of their rapport seemed to suggest that they had been friends for quite some time. Ooh, childhood friends, I see y'all. Once I verified their conversation had come to a halt, I mustered the courage to speak to Hijikata. Hijikata, may I ask who this is? Oh, yeah, you two haven't met, I take it. No. How? No, we haven't. Oh, I haven't introduced myself yet, huh? I'm Hachiro Iba. I'm a Hatamoto of the Shogunate Jiki-san. Pardon? And I'm the Okuzume of the Obanshi. Oh, I'm... She's like, I don't know what any of that means. Oh, I'm Chizuru Yukimura. Chizuru, nice to meet you officially. Oh, yes, nice to meet you too. As soon as Eva and I finished our introductions, Hijikata was inclined to get us indoors. Hey, we don't need to have this conversation out in the sun. Why don't you come inside? Oh, look how nice he is. Okay, where were these manners before? He has a friend. Who would have thought? I took tea to the two, and not us making tea. Hijikata should make the tea. To remain here, so I decided to listen in. So you claimed you came to Kyoto with shogunate orders? Sure climbed that social ladder, huh? And Okuzume? I listened intently but subtly since I was unfamiliar with the contents of their conversation. He's entrusted with protecting the shogun and his guests and friends who surround him. Oh wow, I'm honored to meet such a man. Oh please, I'm nothing special. That was a job I acquired from connections with my father. Damn, he was like, I'm a nepo baby, don't worry. I got a small loan of $1 million. But what would bring a man of his stature here, Hijikata? This meant Ibo was someone who worked directly with the shogun. What an honor. It made no sense why he would interact with the Shinsengumi or why he had business with us. Oh, I see what you're thinking. You're thinking, why would a guy like me, huh? I did my best to nod without offending him. You see, not only is he Hatamoto, but he's the heir of the Shingyoto Ryu Iba Dojo, a top 4 dojo in Edo. The Iba Dojo and my dojo socialize often, so this is how we came to know each other. Aw, cute. Yes, that's right. When I got word that I would be coming to Kyoto, I was excited because I know I would see Toshi. Whatever, just keep in mind, Kyoto isn't exactly a vacation destination. Yes, I'll keep that in mind. However, despite it being so dangerous, it seems even a woman could be with the Shinsengumi. Iba glanced at me when he asked this question before looking to Hijikata. I gasped and cupped my hands over my mouth. And Hijikata's eyes darted towards me sternly. It would seem Iba picked up on the fact I was female, judging by their interaction. Oh, that was supposed to be a secret. We're horrible at disguising ourselves. I didn't want to confirm any answer, so I stared towards the mat underneath without speaking. Well, her reasons for being here are somewhat complicated, so we have her pose as a man for now. Very poorly. Only a portion of the men in the Shinsengumi know about her, so it would be preferred if you were to keep it under wraps in front of our men. Understood. I'll do whatever you ask of me, Toshi. What is this relationship, y'all? Eva drew Hijikata in closer in a jovial manner, and Hijikata blushed at the notion. He's down bad! Like, I'm not reading into this. Like, look, I know it's easy. 2 men are on screen and they're flirting, you know? Like, no, this is! Like, he's blushing the whole fucking time. Hijikata is normally really uptight, so seeing him behave this way was startling. Yeah, what the hell? I know what you are. Now there's something here, yeah. I had a lingering suspicion that Hijikata was actually enjoying himself. I know what you are. All of the commotion must have alerted the captains because they popped up from nowhere. Oh, what the hell? Hachiro, is that you? I knew I heard your voice somewhere. It really was you, huh? Shinpachi, Harada, everyone else is here too. Time no see, boys. Man, you're in Kyoto now. Are you here to train or are you sightseeing? Don't be stupid. I'll bet he's here to protect someone important or something, am I right? Well, maybe it's something like that. I thought you were injured, Okita. If you're in Kyoto, I assume you have a pretty good position. Eva nodded plainly in response. I see you're in Kyoto too, huh? Well, be careful, don't be stupid or die or something. He should be saying that shit to you! Thank you for the warning. I'll keep that in mind. Hey, we should go drinking someday. I mean, we could go now if you want. Damn, everybody's just down bad for this fucking dude. Who is this? Each of the captains surrounded Iba and exchanged words. Most of all, Iba seemed lost in the amount of fun he had while conversing with everyone. I guess he really knew everyone back in Edo. Hijikata watched their interaction with warmth in his eyes and muttered, "Warmth in his eyes?" See, despite him being a Hanamoto and also the heir of the Iba dojo, he chose to learn about each and every one of us, and he treats us with respect. Damn. Just get married already, what the hell? It seemed no one can escape his amiable nature. He seemed to be especially fond of Hijikata, though. But I couldn't dare say. Well, I guess you can say we're friends. Whenever he visits, be sure to let him in. I mean, I will. Into your room, apparently. Understood. That's crazy. We just got cucked, y'all. Before we knew it, evening had come, and Eva told us it was time for him to depart. Well, I guess that means goodbye for now. Chizuru. Okay. His face seemed reluctant, if not a little forlorn, and he left the compound. I stared at him as he walked into the distance until his small figure was removed from my eyes. Eva was a mysterious person. Even if he was someone very important, upper class, he acted with integrity and kindness, commanding a lot of respect from the captains of the Shinsengumi. I did not think there was a samurai like him in the shogunate. You know, I feel like that's a good place to stop for today, guys. Yeah, look at that. Honestly, that was a really fun time. I kind of had more fun with it than I was expecting. I was expecting me to like have to drag my feet a little bit, you know, and like some of the slower parts, or especially because all of that right there is like stuff I feel like I've already seen before, except that last scene. So like, but even then it kind of felt fresh for some reason. Like I understood it more than I did in previous times. So that was really good. I had a lot of fun. I'm excited to play more tomorrow. I mean, obviously there was kind of some problematic dialogue from time to time, but look, you know, it's a product of its time. It ain't perfect, you know, as nothing is, but it is enjoyable. And at the end of the day, the worst thing a story can be is boring. Like, really. So, but thank you for joining me for today. I do plan on playing more tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I do have a stream schedule up on my Blue Sky, so if you're curious as to when I'll be streaming, that's basically that. I stream at 11 a.m. CST most days, and those days are basically every day that isn't Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, so Wednesday through Saturday is when I usually stream. But Saturday is my work stream. That's the only non-Hakuoki stream right now. But I'm actually having a good time. I don't know what route we're gonna end up on. I guess we'll like have to fuck around and see, so I'm excited. I don't even know when it's supposed to branch off. So thank you for joining for the first stream. Thank you for the follow as well. I hope to see you come back and to chat with all of us. It's actually a very small alert. I'm so sorry. I would have thanked the name, but it was just really, really small for some reason. I'll be sure to increase the size of that so we don't have that problem again. But thank you for the follow very, very much. It means a lot. Like I said, I'll have my stream schedule up tomorrow. I forgot to add it to the actual before I started streaming. But I'll see you this time tomorrow. 11 a.m. CST tomorrow for more Hakuoki. So bye, y'all. Have a lovely day.